Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said?
Hello. Ah, God. How's it going, freaks? That was so loud, it just blew out my eardrum. Yeah. All right. Came on a little bit late. Was watching the Blazers play. Finally got one of our the All-Star player back from injury. Hey, look at, we got somebody say, everybody say hi to each other for the next 45 minutes. Yeah, sounds good. So we're going to, there's one lady that's missing in Arizona. There's so little information though. Might take like 5 minutes to cover that. But this is just like every other show, guys, even though it's a little bit later. I need the same support for the channel, even when we're doing shows a little bit later. All right. I think he's the Houston Rocket announcer. Anyways, apparently there's this YouTuber out there. But I don't have the pictures loaded up in here, but to change down below. Yeah. So there's a YouTube or a Facebook page called let's see, it's called Oklahoma Predator Prevention. Not sure what the hell of my that has nothing to do with anything. Hold on. Ah, shoot. Yeah, this Predator Prevention. Wait, who's this person? Fauci. Yeah. Let's see. Who's Fauci? Hey, thanks, Kim from Rochester and Wild Bill Wassman. All right, but the Oklahoma Predator Prevention, they're sort of like, they go around and do like the predator hunters. There's different YouTube channels and so forth where they trap. You know, they lay down the bait and pretend they're like an 11 or 12-year-old person, and then these predators try to meet them. All right, but it turns out that a YouTuber, I guess he was like I think Arctic Fox. You know, I mean, I remember the name, I don't remember him. That's all I can say is I remember the name. And so they trapped him here in this video. Let's see. Maybe we can listen to it, see what's going on. Looks like a predator already, right? Yeah, it sounds like Seven Stearns. Can you hear it? Yeah, if he's blaming the victim, just like Stearns tried to do with Madeline. Oh, you can't hear it? I was wondering if you couldn't hear it. What was the reason? God, why can't you hear it today? Oh, yeah, I know. Maybe I have it on that audio. Yep, there it is. Echo cancellation. There it is. Thought I fixed everything on there. Let me fix the audio again then. Hold on. Yeah, that's already way down. All right, so this should work now. Here we go.
I mean,
kind of going over. We'll go over
I
all that
was
here.
never meet him or anything. He kept pushing me to, and I kept coming up with reasons why I couldn't. So
You asked if he liked fingering himself in the shower?
oh my God, he started talking about how
it's his
scared
fault.
he was
Yeah, it's his fault.
about having an accident on someone.
So apparently this is a YouTuber. He had, I don't know, 19, decent number of subs, 19,000 or 17,000. And he did videos on missing persons.
His first time when he had sex, and I told him, well, the easiest way to prevent that is to go into the shower and,
Again, this kid is 14
I
years
know,
old.
and like I said, I'm just
Do you have children?
No.
I have children. I have children around that age, man.
But like I said, I was just
And
trying.
if I went through one of my kids' phones
I was just
and found
trying.
the conversation you were having with one of my
Ridiculous.
kids talking about fingering their ass and all that, none of this shit would be here. Just me, by myself, would be here. You know what I mean?
I get it. And
Be
like-
lucky this was us, and I don't think he has a father. His mother sent us all
Hey,
this
Sandy
stuff
will.
over. But hell, she's mean as hell too. What if they wanted to come over here and take matters? And you're playing with fire, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, his mom's probably going to call the cops and everything, and she sent it over to you. So. I mean, I don't.
You told him to borrow his mom's dildo. Explain that
Oh
one.
my God. Okay.
Yeah, he says it like, okay,
He
God,
said-
I know, but listen, this is the real. What the hell are you talking about? This guy's a wacko, sicko.
Context. He was talking about.
It makes me wonder, like, if he covered missing persons cases, did he create the missing person? I mean, who knows what level this guy's at, right? But hey, guys, if you could help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm trying to remember how that came about. He said he wanted to know what it felt like, and I told him that he needed to order a dildo or go to Christie's Toy Box and get one or something like that. And then he said, no, I'm afraid she'd find it. So I said, well, you could borrow one of your mom's tools.
Then you said, this is kind of strange. You told him to use a cucumber instead of a banana. Who the hell would use a banana?
He said banana. He said he was going to use banana, and I was like, no, you
I
don't
mean,
want
wouldn't that get all mushy in the butt?
Exactly. Anyway. But,
Jesus.
yeah.
The guy actually
Then
answers it
right
like
here,
it's...
the next note was basically you just said it.
What an
you
idiot.
told him to buy a 5-inch dildo. Why 5-inch?
He said he didn't want to start off with anything too big.
Well, he's 14. Do you think this kid should even be
No,
doing
I
any of this
don't. I'm just, oh my God. I was trying to get rid of him. I did so many
Get rid of
times.
him?
shit? You said, I bet your feet look cute in socks. What about mine? Do my feet look cute?
Oh my God. Stop.
No, for real. Look at them. Are my feet cute?
Oh, this is what predators do. You got to learn about what
Is
they
there
do. These guys
anything
are
I can do
crazy.
to make my feet better?
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Ew.
Thomas,
You
you're
like to
into
lick armpits?
true crime.
Yeah.
You got a YouTube channel? How many subscribers you got?
A few.
17,000.
His name is Thomas
Oh my
McCauley.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Dude, you think I didn't do my homework on my way over here?
What is your YouTube channel?
Huh?
What is it called?
I'm not gonna say.
Arctic?
Arctic something? Okay.
Arctic
something.
Fox.
I'll get it here. Damn, dude, you might be doing a story about yourself here pretty soon, huh?
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
not ever gonna talk to anyone on my.
Hey, you didn't answer my question, man. Do my feet look good in these socks, man?
They look fine.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I'm glad I got your approval. Would you like to lick my armpit? Because it says right here you like to lick
dude,
armpits.
Enough.
You don't want to lick it?
No, stop.
I'm just going on. It says you like to lick
I'm
these.
telling you, this kid started this shit, and I tried to get rid of him. Okay.
Oh, it's his fault. Okay.
Damn, man.
Would want to lick the boy's armpit. This is a quote from you. I ain't gonna lie.
I think
it's
they
definitely
turned it
breaking
in or
me
something.
up talking about meeting at a hotel. So
You know, I can
But
see a
I
couple of
wasn't
the. To be honest with you, I could see a couple of the. I'm not sure what happened.
y'all were gonna
Okay,
meet at a
this is-
hotel?
No, we're not going to meet at a hotel. If you read
Well, it
through,
says you
if
were
you-
getting bricked
if
up
you-
thinking about it.
if you read through everything,
I could see a couple. You know, the people that stand around and film Nancy Guthrie's home. I could see a few of those people, sort of like this guy. Honestly, I think they're similar.
I told him we would have to meet at a public place.
Okay.
If we
would
ever
take
met.
his socks off and rub his.
Okay, we're done.
We're done?
We're done.
Okay. Then we might be done, but you're not going to be
Okay, what?
done. Are we done?
Look, the chats are pretty concerning.
They are concerned,
Okay. So
but it's
we hope that we can get this worked out with you instead of
well, yeah.
bringing other
I mean,
people in.
basically,
I mean, you seem like an alright guy if you're really into true crime and all that, you know? That helps people, those journalists and
They're trying
I
to get him
told
to
him
keep
a
talking.
thousand times I didn't want to have these types of conversations with him because I knew it was.
Oh,
wrong
God, we
to
gotta
have that
wow,
type of
just wow, you
conversation with
guys.
him, but he kept
All
taking
right.
it there. I knew that, and this is the exact type of thing that.
Did you send anything to him? Any sexual stuff?
I sent him a picture of me with my shirt off.
Send him any videos?
No.
No porno
Oh
videos.
my God! I sent him links.
Yeah. You know that's distributing porn to a minor?
No, I did not realize that.
Really? You gave porn to a minor? What do you mean you didn't think of that?
This guy's nuts.
I've read through your chats. I did see. You did not.
I mean, what's
send
going
me-
on with the pants and
That's
everything?
great.
They're like
Honestly, that's great.
10 inches long.
But you know what? Those videos you sent him are just as bad as if you sent your dick. Make sense? Huh?
I get it. I do. And like I said, I mean, I was trying to get rid of him, and
You want to go live on your YouTube channel real quick?
no, I do not.
Why not?
I'm not going to go live on
And
my
just kind of explain to them what's going on?
I'm not going to go live on my channel. In fact, after this, I'll probably delete my channel.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be good for me to be on your YouTube anyway. I'll probably get you banned. I've been banned over there. If I get on anybody's YouTube video, they're going to get banned. So, hey, let's kill two birds with one stone. You're going to end it anyway. Let's go live.
I don't even have any. No, but I mean, I told him. I said I don't want to have these conversations because
I
this
mean,
is
those
the
pants
very
are
type
like
of
9
thing
inches
that I
too
was afraid
long.
was going to happen. if
So
I
then
kept
why
on.
did you continue?
He kept pushing it and pushing it,
You
and I know
are an
better.
adult.
I know I'm an adult, but I also, oh my God, and this is entrapment.
Entrapment, no, that's a law enforcement term, and I've done told you we are not law enforcement. You should know, you're a little dusty on your crime shit, huh? Because I want you to look up entrapment and see what that means.
So, were y'all like working with this kid or something to try to get?
His mother messaged my group and sent me all this shit that you've been sending her son.
Yeah. Well, I guess her son said.
Oh, so are we blaming the son?
No, I'm not blaming the son. I mean,
He's in a world of trouble as well.
He's probably getting his ass beat with the fucking extension cord about like that one.
Yeah.
I can assure you it'll never happen again. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, you want to know
I can assure you it'll never happen again. I can tell you that. Oh, come on, jeez.
what my question literally is? These cameras have been in front of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people's faces. All right?
Yeah.
How many of you fucking people are we going to have to throw in prison before y'all quit fucking with our kids?
I have never touched a kid, and I would
It
never.
don't matter. That's just as bad, dude.
You know, this day and age, a kid doesn't even have to leave their fucking house or bedroom to be victimized online.
I know. I mean, there's people that. I mean, I've talked about it before on my channel. Even these kids get lured out from Minecraft and all kinds of stuff online. If I'd never were a kid to.
That's probably how this guy is crazy. I mean, literally, he says he, on his channel, he told people about how these, kids, how you can catch them and everything. I mean, he knew exactly how to do it. That's probably how he knew. When we look up stuff like that, we literally are like live going, hey, he probably already knew it in his head, right? I mean, almost every one of these guys has a Minecraft account.
My house, I'd never go meet up with a kid or anything.
You said that you wanted to go, you have family out there in Oklahoma City, and you would meet up with him. What are you talking about you wasn't going to go meet him?
I wasn't going to go meet him. I said if we ever did meet, which I wasn't going to, I was trying to just appease him. I said it would have to be in a public place, like the park or like a restaurant.
How are you going to prevent this?
What city does this guy live in?
I'm going to delete
Oklahoma?
all the damn dating
Oklahoma.
apps, and that's how I met him. He had a freaking dating app thing, and initially said he was 24. That's how
What
this
was
whole
the
stuff
app?
started.
What was the app? Or do you know?
I don't even remember the app.
Okay.
I know.
He didn't tell us. I just was wondering what it was.
Did it start with an A?
I don't even remember. I honestly
Well,
don't.
what all dating apps are you on?
Yeah.
I'm on one called Tammy. I'm on one called Meet Me. I think his profile was on that one too. I'm on a few.
You know what though? This ain't the first boy that you've talked to, because
He looks like about
about
47.
almost a year ago, another mother sent me a fucking profile on you, dude.
Wait.
And I'm pretty sure it was
42
from
maybe?
that Tammy app, dude.
No, because I've only had that app for like a month.
Well, it might have been something else, but you look very familiar.
No.
That your files came across my desk before in the
I
past.
swear, no. And I tried to cut it off as soon as I found out that he was 14. I said, hey, I mean, I can't do this. You're a kid, man.
Why did you continue entertaining it? Like I asked you, do you got anything in common with him?
No, not really. I mean, I was just, like I said, I guess it was that deal where I remember what it was like to be a teenage kid, growing up gay, in the South, and you ain't got no friends. That's basically what it was. I was just trying to be support to him.
Like a mentor?
I'm not like a mentor, but like someone he could talk to, just give an ear to him.
Do you think your supporters would understand?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Do they invest money into your channel and stuff?
No, I'm not
How much you
monetized
make?
at all.
Okay.
You're not monetized with 17,000 followers,
No,
subscribers.
I'm not
Why?
monetized because I'm not here to make money off the backs of missing kids. I'm here to try to bring missing kids home.
Well, you told
Yeah, well, maybe you're responsible for the kids being missing.
him in here that you do make money off of here, and it's not much, but you make all right at living, is what you said.
I do make an alright living.
Off of YouTube,
Not
correct?
off of YouTube, no.
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people with his name.
Maybe.
I don't know
I
which
mean,
one
I
he
could
is.
have easily monetized ages
How old
ago.
is this guy? Anybody know?
What's up with Zangy?
Huh?
Zangy?
Oh.
You have that app?
I don't know. I don't think.
Okay, I don't know what he's gonna play here. I'm just gonna. That was basically it. Crazy though. I mean, the guy blames the kid. You know. Yeah, I don't know where this guy is from at all. I have no idea. It's just insane though. I mean, what's weird, I'm not really a big fan of those shows like Chris Hansen's show where he goes around and, you know, it's a television program, you know. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. You know, there's a lot of people. I don't know. It seems like after there's a conviction, it'd be okay to play the videos, but they always seem to do it before. And, you know, who knows what the actual, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of a strange scenario on television. I like that YouTube channel that does it, though. They go around and follow. I guess it's the same thing. I guess it's kind of similar. I mean, who cares? I mean, they're predators. Yeah, I don't know where the guy, what town he lives in. I'd like to check to see what apps he has. I can look it up. I don't know what his age is or what city he lives in. Are you guys here? We're already dead, the chat. Nobody's typing. But hey guys, if you're out there, if you can help support the channel, this is just another day like every other day. It's no different than other days. We're just trying to make the goals and try to, you know, make things happen here. I don't have anything else. Hey, where'd you go last night, Betty? I was looking for you later in the show. You disappeared. How's it going? Thanks, Betty. Appreciate it. And it's Arkansas. I can't remember the county. I thought it was Oklahoma where this guy lived. He's 49. You sure? Let's see. All right, let me try it. I see one that's 48. Oh, I guess there's one 49. Let's see if that's it. I'm not moving to the next thing, Sandy. I'm still talking about it. You can come back later, though, if you want. You know? I'm just going to look this guy up really quick. Kind of reminds me of Stephen Stearns. They're all the same, these guys. I just want to make sure this is him. Yeah. I don't know. It's too hard to, you know, this guy's name doesn't seem that common, but there's a whole bunch of different, there's a bunch of people that are 49 that live in Kentucky with that name. So, and 47s, and so I don't know how you can tell which one is which. I have no idea. There's just tons of people with that whole name. So I'm not going to keep digging around. I bet you anything, though, he's got Roblox and all that. He's just a predator where he thought he was talking. Well, I think he was communicating with a 14-year-old, and then these people, I think, took over the account and were communicating with him. But hey, we had Betty Black up there, but not another soul. So if you guys could please help support the channel, that would be great. Thanks. Yeah, I need to know his whole birth date, his age, the town. Saying March doesn't help on Ben Verified. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the other video. I just saw that one. Yeah, you, mhm. Okay, somebody just said he was 49. Okay, now you're saying he's 50. How do you know it's him? The one that you're typing in there, chasing true crime. How do you know that that's the one? You're not, oh, are you chasing truth? I haven't seen it in a million years. I don't know who's chasing true crime? Is that a different name? I don't know what that means. Second Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I don't know what that means. There's no such town called Second Oklahoma City. Oh, you know the guy? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So you know, yeah, I mean, I think I remember his name from before. I just didn't remember his face or anything. I don't watch those people like that on YouTube. They're not interesting. There's never anything that they put out that's worth watching. Let's see. And how old is he? 50, you're saying? Okay. Okay, this might be him. And it was Chasing Truth from a long time ago. We're both mods on each other's channels. We used to have that combined channel together, the So Mean Allegedly. But hey guys, can you please help support the channel tonight? It's just dead as a doornail yet again. We need to keep moving here. It's crazy. All right, social media. The Facebook page, it's locked up now, of course. Facebook page is locked up. Okay, so this is what I wanted to look at, though, is a phone number. He's got a lot of different phone numbers. That's always a red flag. You know, somebody's got a ton of phone numbers, like 10, you know. Who has that many? I do, Gray. You see, I don't give a shit. Let's see, copy. All right, let's see. He's Brian Entin, and he works for... What are you talking about, Mary? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I know, I was wondering if he's the one responsible for the missing kids. You know? Oh, he has a picture up here. It makes him so much younger. I think that's still him, maybe. Oh, yeah, he's on Telegram. That's, yeah. That's one of the ones predators use all the time. He has 22 email addresses. He's moved 36 times and has 11 phone numbers. That's never good. You know, that's... unless you're like a military kid or, you know, or... I don't know. It's just... Predators seem to have stuff like that all the time. They use a whole bunch of different phones, and they're all over the place. Yeah, the one in this place, it makes it hard because how do you find the ones he was using? He's got so many. But the number one up on here, he's yeah. Wow, he's got a lot of different. That one doesn't have many apps on it. What I'll do is I'm not going to spend the time on the show looking this stuff up because there's so many that I have to look at now that I don't really have time. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow and see what I come up with. All right. Hey, thank you. 5Fa1. Yeah, and it's weird. It's so weird that somebody that's well, it's kind of like Koberger, though. You know, like Koberger is talking about, criminal, whatever it was that he was in, criminology, criminal justice, or whatever the hell he was. And, he knows about all the different things that people would do, and then he goes and does that. Just like this guy knows, he's a predator, so he knows all the tactics, so he can sound like he's pretty knowledgeable when he talks about it on his YouTube channel. Pretty crazy. Let me put this file in there just so I don't have to look tomorrow. All right, there he is. All right, I'll see what I can find tomorrow. That's too much stuff. Well, I don't think he would use that one, you think, to do... Well, let's look. I can look that one up. Okay, well, somebody's got to do... We got to get a challenge going in here, guys. This is starting to look bad. I'm putting his number, email in here. Let's see what it does. I mean, that's probably just what he used for his YouTube channel. Wow, it's almost like it's dead. You got it. You got all the right letters in there. Arctic Fox, True Crime. Of course he has. Yeah. He's a predator. Every time, like these shows that you see, there was one guy that did it in Indiana. He was amazing. He always kept, busting these guys, and it was weird. Like for these people to actually show up to meet somebody at a store, like in a mall somewhere, it shows you that they had been successful before. I mean, the odds of you catching them on that first time that they ventured out to go to a mall is almost zero. So that means that they've been successful on other attempts meeting up with somebody. It's crazy. You think the parents would have been, I don't know. I mean, the parents probably didn't even know in the other cases. Oh, you spelled it wrong? I'm going to put that. Did you just correct it? Okay. So he does. Everybody. He has Cash App, Instagram, Twitter, Etsy. I mean, these are all. I don't think he would be doing something nefarious with his YouTube channel email. He probably created some other random one for that. He's got. Well, maybe we can just look at some of these. He's got. He calls himself like Best Boy, 1976, for AOL, Yahoo, and then TM Colley for AOL, Thomas, and then Juno. I bet it's one of those Beast Boy ones. There's two of them. I didn't really make it to the second one. We'll try now. Hey, thanks so much there, Chris O'Connell. Oh, we have a 5 for 5er? Jim has a 5 membership challenge. Well, looks like Chris O'Connell just did it. Hey, thank you. Look at that. And then Wild Bill Wassman jumped in there. So that was about the quickest challenge in the history of mankind. Thanks, Jim. Oh, look at that. So this one has that stuff. Let's see that Arctic Fox on there. The Google, Cash App, and this is that other one that I just put in there. It's the Beast. No, hold on. Maybe I hadn't clicked the button yet. Thank you, Jim Lon, and Chris O'Connell and Wild Bill Wassman. Very, very nice of you. That Beast one doesn't really have anything either. I mean, it's what's interesting. You can try all of his different phone numbers too. He's got a million of them, and then it shows you where they've logged in and so forth with the phone numbers and different accounts. That's why I was so crazy with the Stephen Stearns, where it showed that he was literally on Telegram the very night that he killed Madeline, and after they had gone to bed. So is he posting video on there? Did he do that for some group or what? I mean, who the hell knows? It's pretty creepy, though. Pretty creepy. I think there was. Yeah, he was talking to a boy's mother, or a boy, and then the mother told this group about him, and then I think they gave them access, I would imagine, or they're just, confronting the person with the messages that were sent back and forth. I'm not showing anything on the map. It's just a map. It's just a map on the screen. I think the ones, though, that are a little bit... that's why I don't like the show with Hansen. Is because they don't even have a 14-year-old or whatever. They just sort of, are fishing for the adult. I mean, I get what they're doing, but there's something about it that makes me uneasy on the other side, even though I'm, totally okay with getting the predators out of there. It just seems like it's something that shouldn't be on television. It's like you are, sort of throwing out bait to entrap these predators that are out there, and then just handle it. Go through the court process, all that kind of crap. The sort of televising of it is what I think is a little strange for some reason, too. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just something when you watch it, you just kind of go, yeah, just handle this stuff. Because I think one of the people like took his life right after they went to the house, and it gets it's in a weird place, especially when it is kind of entrapment when you didn't actually. He wasn't really communicating with a young person. This one's different. Like he was communicating with a 14-year-old, and then that mother of the 14-year-old got a hold of this group. See? Yeah, a lot of people don't want to say like they agree or not because it's just like, oh yeah, get rid of predators. But if you just sort of think about it, go ahead and do this stuff to get the predators out there, but televising it is ludicrous, I think. It can create dangerous situations for a lot of people. I thought in this case, I thought in this case, they said at the end of the video that he was communicating with a 14-year-old boy and the mother contacted them or something. That's not how it went. They literally just pretended. Oh, that's right. Wasn't it like they had their own website, a site where predators reach out to, and then they set them up, basically. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. Why not just turn that into the cops? It'd have the same effect. Well, because the person is going to be desperate then. Right after you put them on there, they're going to be a desperate human being that could go shoot themselves, go shoot other people, He has nothing to lose at that point. You're pretty much ruining a person's... I mean, I don't care if a predator's life is ruined, but do it in the behind the scenes in the court systems. When you put them on there, there's no due process or anything. There's no chance that, if they go to court and they go, oh wow, that's weird, that wasn't really a real person, and they get off, well, his life's ruined now regardless, right? And so this is where it just always sucks. It's like, how do you even have a conversation like this? Because people go, oh, Gray, you don't think a predator should be... Yeah, I do. I think predators should be punished. Just like everybody else, they should be punished. But the televising of it, I think if you're a libertarian or something, you should be totally against that. It's like something doesn't seem normal. And I think Chris Hansen's show was taken off television because it had, it was causing, I don't know, they got sued and there was lots of problems. And now I think they're doing it again because it sells, man. It sells. But yeah, that guy's, they always do, these predators seem to always blame the kid, like Stephen Stearns. Well, it's her fault, she came on to me, and you're an adult, idiot. You're insane. And not only that, Stephen Stearns, he groomed the mother and the child to do, and then over time he was able to get what he wanted, which was the girl. He didn't really give a damn about the mother or anything like that, but he convinced everybody that he was just this good guy, and he got Madeline to not say a damn thing to anybody. I don't think so, Laura. I know. See, that's one of those topics. So you bring it up, and then the people that are what do you call them? The moral superiority people. If you mention that, well, I agree with them being punished. I just don't like the television aspect of it. They get offended by it, and it's like, I just don't have time for you. If you're one of those people, just see you later. I'm just telling you that that's what I think is just not good. Do these things. Get these freaking predators off the streets. But why does it need to be on television? It's kind of gross, actually. I mean, just watching that last video, it was kind of uneasy. It wasn't really like, ugh. It's just sort of like you look at this guy and he's so creepy. You know, I'm not really sure. I mean, I think maybe it actually helps the predators out there because they realize, okay, if I just didn't do that, if I can just do it, if I can just figure out how to avoid what this guy went through, it probably helps refine them a little bit. Yeah. No, that's not what I said, Lexi. That's not what I said, Lexi. You ever got your brain to work correctly? Every time you come in here, you make comments like that that never make sense to anybody. Nobody ever said that. Let's see. Law enforcement. I said, I mean, here's the thing is, I don't know what you're saying in your sentence, Lexi. Maybe type it in again. You always seem to challenge stuff without really. I mean, I don't think I could be less, any more clear actually than I had been. All right. Okay. All right. Great. I'm just trying to say that I want all these predators, and I absolutely don't have any problem with these things right here. What I have a problem with is that, like the television shows, etc. And even this. These guys got this information on this guy, send it into the cops, you know, and let them deal with it and get him off the streets. But I guess these, you know, they have to make money somehow to do it. I'm just not sure. I mean, they have a place where you can donate and so forth. Okay, that's sorry, Lexi, I misunderstood what you wrote. But sometimes you're always like challenging with stuff in here, and a lot of times it's not accurate what you're saying. But this time, hey, look at that. Let's see. I thought it was pretty clear though. All right, we're back on one of the massive lulls again, you guys. So we're trying to reach the goals. We're way behind this month already because there hasn't been one night that was really a good one to make up for crappy ones. All right, so if you guys can please help support the channel, I would appreciate it. That would be awesome. Yeah, we figured that out. 8675309. Right, we know. Yeah. I've sent you text messages. You haven't been responding to any of them. Many warm greetings from Germany to everyone in the chat and the mods, and I feel honored to be part of it. Hey, cool. Kira Moons. Kira Muns. Yeah, well, it was explained up above. I said it out loud. That, yeah, you guys, I've sent like 8. You're going to have to go check them out. I mean, I said it to the same one that we have conversations on. Yeah. It's right there. I don't know, maybe your phone's in a weird place. Whoa! Look at that. Chris O'Cuddle. Well, thank you. Look at all the new members there. I'll tell you one of the things that's really creepy, and it's starting, and there was a Twitter post about it and everything. I've told you guys this for years and years and years. That's wild. Well, whenever I've called a number, I've called you a couple times too, so I wanted to check in on you regarding your uncle, and it goes like immediately goes to this weird sort of like it's outside, and then it hangs up. So I don't know. Hey, thanks, Jim Lawn. He said he wants to date a Persian woman. Okay, all right. Excellent. Yeah, well, here's the thing is these predators, these pedophiles, they've been for years, they've been trying to, and here's what's crazy right here. You're still out there? Alexi? 918? Oh, it's okay, Lexi. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be a quiet watcher. I think I probably misread what you wrote. Anyways, let's see. We also don't want to make it about you. I've already said that twice now on the show, that I didn't say it right. But these pedophiles out there, they're trying to make it seem... They are saying this. So you know the argument for gay people, just in general, for gay people is, they're born that way. It's true. I mean, gay people are born, that's how they are, But pedophiles, they say the same thing, which is, if you look up the research, it's true too. That they're actually born the way that they are, and they're attracted to kids, right? So they're trying to make it so that they're part of the conversation, like LGBTQ, and then you can put a P at the end there. And it's called minor attract. They came up with a whole name for it and everything. And they're trying to make these arguments out there. And I actually saw a TED Talk on it one time. Okay? I saw a TED Talk on it where, when it was all said and done, the lady made the argument how pedophiles shouldn't be treated the way they are because they're born that way. And I just think it's insane. All right? I mean, I get it. You got a bad lot in life if that's what you're attracted to. But I shouldn't be required to have you as a preschool teacher for my kids because, we don't want to discriminate against you as long as you're not a practicing one, of course. It's a thing. It's a thing now. It's becoming more and more a thing. And I saw it on Twitter and I told you guys. I've been saying this for 3 or 4 years. After I saw, well, more than that, like 6. When I saw the TED Talk on it, they went through, each element after each element after each element. And it was the same, it had the same arguments that you would make, that had been made a long time ago for gay people. The same arguments. The difference is there's a victim in who, if they act out on their sexual impulses, there's a victim. You see? And so as long as let me ask you this, as long as they're not acting out, if they agree that they aren't going to act out their sexual fantasies, they can come out of the closet though and say what they are, right? Would you still want them as your kid's teacher? And here's what the really hardcore lefties with the tie-dye shirts on. They'll make you feel bad for not allowing them to be your preschool kid students. You get it? They're going to make you feel bad for it. The same way they guilt you into all the other things. It's ludicrous. All right? But you watch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right? It's going to get to a point, depending on how our country goes, we're going to get down to that point where we're going to have to accept them in society. And as long as they come out and they're not practicing, we're going to have to accept them as school teachers and camp counselors and the whole 9 yards. You get it? Yeah. I sure as hell hope not either. I think most sane people hope not. Yeah, I think it was TED Talk X or something. Isn't that another 8675309? I can't remember. Like TED Talk X or something. Maybe it's like, but it was crazy. It was I think you can find it on YouTube. It was like a 10-minute speech, and everybody clapped at the end. It was sick, Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's wild, It does make sense. The argument makes sense because what they're saying is that they're born that way. Okay, and a lot of research is true. It shows that they are born that way. They're just attracted to prepubescent kids. But as long as they're not acting out on it, we should accept them into society as just normal people. You know? You gotta accept them and let them be teachers and stuff. That's an actual argument. I mean, it's really ridiculous. It sucks for them, though. But it is what it is. I mean, we've actually gone over this on the show, and I literally showed the freaks in here, the articles that people make and the arguments they make. It's crazy. Hey, send me a text message. 867-5309. Let me see if I get it from you. For crossing state lines to meet with the 2 children under 12. Oh, wow. I'm glad they got him. Yeah, well, you can go look it up, Quedwas. I don't really care what your opinion is on it. I've actually looked it up, and apparently they're born that way, too. It just is what it is. You might have some cultures that have more people, I don't know. Maybe there's some training element to it. I don't know, but go look it up. Don't just randomly comment because you believe something. Go look up the papers on it. Right. If you believe in God, how can you think they were born that way? Well, because aren't there people born with one leg missing? If you believe in God, why would he do that? Isn't that weird? I mean, why would God make somebody born with one leg? Why are people born that are psychopaths? Man, why would you do that? Jeez. I mean, so I don't even understand your comment. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, see, what does sin have to do with anything? It's still a mistake, right? Like an element that wasn't correct. Yeah. Yeah, your argument's just a ludicrous argument. Yeah. What a crazy argument. Hey, if you believe in God, why would he... Jesus, man, that is just so out there. Well, we're only about 40%, you guys. So, I mean, if we get a couple more challenges, we'll get somewhere. We're just stuck. But anyways, I'm going to move on to this other... I don't know. There's hardly anything on it, to be honest with you, but so this is also in Arizona.
Coconino County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a 69-year-old person, a 69-year-old
kind of sounds like a similar scenario.
Woman who has not been seen.
I mean, not that they don't have any evidence she was abducted.
Now in 2 weeks, Carolyn Cosper recently had heart surgery, walks with a cane, and was last seen picking up her mail in Ash Fork. She actually lives in a community called Westwood Ranches, 20 miles northwest of Ash.
Yeah, so she went to this town over here called Ash Fork, Arizona. So this is in Arizona, getting up near, like, down here is where Nancy Guthrie is, and then let's see. I'm not saying they're related or anything, but it's like 220 miles down there. And then she went to this town to pick up her mail. And then apparently she lives like I don't know. They call it Ash. What was the name of that thing?
Picking up her mail in Ash Fork. She actually lives in a community called Westwood Ranches.
Yeah, Westwood Ranches. Let's see. Yeah, see, it goes to right here, like Westwood Ranch. Like, I don't know if that's the name of that little tiny road right there, or... That's Ranch Road. Okay, so there's Ranch Road. So apparently up here somewhere, there's these little, or like Ranch Road goes up. Like she lived on number, hold on. I actually have the, maybe one of you guys can find it. I was never able to find the plot. It was Ranch Road, lot. Here, I'll put it in the chat and see if somebody can find the exact spot. I was kind of looking around at little areas with maps and everything, but apparently it's on Ranch Road and then lot number 482 somewhere. And so, what's this one over here? Oh man. Hey, you guys, pretend Chris O'Connell's was a challenge, and then you guys can... Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Yeah. Yeah, that's Ranch Road there. This one doesn't have one. Yeah. I don't know if you sent one, 8675309, but I didn't get it. I don't know. Maybe we're something wrong with our connection. I don't know. All right. Who's going to match? Chris O'Connell. Yeah, so I just don't know where that is on the map. I looked for a long time. That's 20 miles there, but then that road doesn't even go up there. So I think it's just sort of over here somewhere. But she lives in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's literally nothing out here. I mean, maybe there's a ranch, apparently, a place you can live, but I don't see it. Well, cool. You can see if we can get some challenges out of those. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. The challenges help out the channel a lot because, people can support like 2 to 1, and we're getting channel memberships, and that's good. Yeah. Next time, make it a challenge. Is what I'm saying. Because that way you might get some extra support there. Hey, thank you, Betty Black. All right. Well, anyways, this lady is missing in Arizona, and she just sort of, there's hardly any information on it. It's like she went home and then she just walked away.
The Coconino County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a 69-year-old person, a 69-year-old woman who has not been seen now in 2 weeks. Carolyn Cosper recently had heart surgery, walks with a cane, and was last seen picking up her mail in Ash Fork. She actually lives in a community called Westwood Ranches, 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. Anyone with information on this should call the Coconino County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, tracking a first alert weather day tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. We've got some showers and storms.
Yeah, so it says the Coconino County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's help in locating 69-year-old Carolyn Cosper. Carolyn was last seen picking up her mail on February 3rd in Ash Fork. It is believed she was at her residence on February 4th, so she was last seen by a human on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, it's believed she's at her residence in Westwood Ranches, it says, approximately 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. Carolyn recently had heart surgery and walks with a cane. All Carolyn's vehicles are accounted for. It is believed she may have left the area on foot, but man, does she not have, if she doesn't have surveillance, she could have been abducted too. Why would she just, after you have heart surgery and you have a cane, are you literally just going to walk away? Yeah, I know where Ranch Road is. I found Ranch Road a million times. What I'm talking about, if you put in the address up here, it does not go anywhere. The one I put up into the chat there. But thanks again up there to Chris O'Connell, Wild Bill Wassman, and Betty Black. Yeah. I mean, Ranch Road is even just right here. This one. See, Ranch Road. And Ranch Road goes all the way up. I think it even keeps going up like this. Yeah, that's still Ranch Road here. So that's going to be it still. Yep, Ranch Road. So she lives somewhere along this. And then up here, it turns around. I must turn, let's see. Yep, Ranch Road. Follow my lead. Open the door to new freaks. It's Speakeasy Sunday at GHI. Yeah, I thought that we did a little live stream for members only last night. That was pretty cool. Did a cold case. That was a good. It was an interesting one. I was actually looking more stuff up on it. I'm gonna try to get a hold of the detectives and say, hey, do you guys still have that the foreign pubic hair that you found? See, isn't it weird? She lives way out here somewhere. Maybe this, like right here, you know. Well, this is the only place that I've found. That's about it, you know. And that's the only place that's right off the road. I mean, there's another one here. There's a bunch of cars. She doesn't seem like somebody that's going to have 19 car. What do you mean gave the numbers? What does that mean? Gave the numbers. What? And then there's Ranch Road over here. There's Floyd Tank. Whatever the hell that is. But notice how there really isn't any other houses just sitting out there. Well, there's one. You know, so I guess that could be it. Is there Ranch Road keep going up here? And then there is a house right there. Yeah, well, that was still Ranch Road there. And then it ends right here. So that's where Ranch Road ends. Another watering. Yeah, see, those make sense because this is 20 miles. I guess if... Yeah, that's 20 to there, so I think if I moved this a little bit, it would shorten it. But driving might be 20. That's 16.4, and then that one would be a little bit longer. God, I hope you're not just going to repeat what I've already shown, Lynn. Yeah, I didn't see anything from you, Lynn. Sorry. Yeah, there's nothing from me, Lynn. You didn't. Okay, now it got there. 10 minutes later. I hope you're not... It better not be what I've already put on the screen. Well, how do you know when you put in Cochise Stronghold Ranch? What makes you think that's her place? And you say 210 iron. I mean, what are you giving me here, Lynn? That's not what I put. I looked her up. Her address is not. It's got a lot number in it. It's right here. Look, this is the address that was in Ben Verified. She lives on Ranch Road, lot 482, Ash Fork, Arizona. Right there. Yeah, well, you must not have, because I just gave it to you. It's Ranch Road, lot 482, Ash Fork, Arizona. You typed in 482. You said, you typed in 482 North Wood. Okay, let's try that. That'd be interesting. So you typed in 482 North Wood Ranch Road. That can't be it. Yeah, it can't be the place. That's not even the right. That's way down here by Nancy Guthrie's house. That's not where she lives. That's way up here. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I said on the show. Open the door again. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's do a challenge, you guys. Come on. We can do another challenge. We just got to get there, and then everything's great. Let me see if I got... I don't know. Where 8675309 went. I guess we didn't do a challenge. But man, that works really... That's amazing. Thank you. That works really well, too. I guess if somebody did 5 challenges, it equals that. Onboarding again. Look at all those new freaks out there. Thank you. Hey, 8675309. Are you still out there? Try to send me a text message. Hey, but Lynn, that wasn't the address that we were looking for. Speak easy. State Police. Why am I getting... Identify individuals with relevant skills. Doorbell camera was removed. I'm not sure who's sending me this. Who are you? State Police. State Police? Nah, it's just a Gmail account. Never mind. Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. Yeah. Yeah, so the address that I gave you guys earlier, it's 482... 482... Well, it's not 482 anything. It's Ranch Road, and then a specific lot number out there, which is 482. Apparently, the addresses are still part of Ash Fork, I guess. I don't know, but she lived out, this is the name of the place. It was right over here. There's Ranch Road, and then it had these sort of, in that article, it said, Hold on.
The Coconino County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a 69-year-old person, a 69-year-old woman who has not been seen now in 2 weeks. Carolyn Cosper recently had heart surgery, walks with a cane, and was last seen picking up her mail in Ash Fork. She actually lives in a community called Westwood Ranches, 20 miles northwest of Ash Fork. So anyone with information on this should call the Coconino County Sheriff's Office.
As tracking a first alert weather.
Yeah, so when you type in Westwood Ranches, why doesn't it show up any? Like, wouldn't that be ranches? Yeah, so every time you type it in, it goes right here. Westwood Ranch. So maybe you're driving down the highway and it said, hey, these are the ranches. Let's see if that's what it looks like. Oh, well, maybe that's exactly what that is. Oh, there you go. Westwood Ranch. Okay, well, there you go. That's that means she lives inside of this community here. So hell, she could live. Well, her address actually has Ranch Road, so I imagine that's what this is too, though. I don't see names don't pop up on it, but. Man, but look at she's walking. Well, she walks with a cane and just had heart surgery. She's not going to be hiking around, so this could be exactly the same. Let's say there was no footage of Nancy Guthrie being abducted. I mean, of a person at her door. People wouldn't know for certain. Let's say. Let me just say this: if her back window or back floodlights were not broken, and there was no video of somebody at the front door, and there was no blood droplets, which is all of that's possible. You know, actually a possible thing that could have happened in this case. In Nancy's case, you wouldn't know if she was abducted or not, which is exactly what could be going on in this one. So, I guess we have to wait for more information. There goes my stomach. All right, here's what we need. Somebody out there to do one more challenge, and that should get us to a goal. Ish. Something like that. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to listen to Brian Entin interviewed some interesting people today, so I thought we could just kind of listen to the interview and see what we think. It's like 40 minutes long, but if we can get a challenge going, that'd be great. Yeah. I mean, it is sort of interesting that another lady of the same, she's way more isolated, though, this one. And quite a bit younger, but has a similar frailties, I guess. Oh, wait, I have it over here. Yeah, so here's where the interview was.
A lot of us with parents who are getting older, this is really like our worst nightmare. And you think about all the people who come in and out of their homes, whether it be like healthcare workers or helpers, and it's like a revolving door in some ways, especially as parents get older. And could that have something to do with this case? Could this be a case of elder abuse? Could this be someone who was inside Nancy's home, working in the house in some capacity? How likely is that? Is that something that authorities are looking into? I'm going to dive into it in this episode of Brian Entin Investigates. I'm joined by Maureen O'Connell and Jim Clemente, both retired FBI special agents and hosts of Best Case, Worst Case, the podcast. It's nice to see you both.
Nice to see you.
I'm still here in Arizona, outside Nancy's house, and I was thinking today about all of the different theories that we've all discussed, and one thing that keeps popping into my mind is like elder abuse, and when you have older parents, and I think a lot of us can relate to this. There's a lot of people coming in and out of the house.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the like elder abuse, like what is the abuse? I guess we have to figure out what that means in this case.
Whether it be healthcare workers or people helping clean up or helping, your loved one shower, that kind of thing.
Thanks, mayhem.
Jim, do you think that's something we should be considering in this case?
Absolutely. I think every single person who had even a tangential relationship to Nancy Guthrie, anybody who worked on the house, on the yard, on the pool, anybody who worked in the house, repairing things, delivering things, even driving her in an Uber or Lyft, all of those people should be looked at, because that could have been the nexus that allowed them to understand that she was living alone and that she was vulnerable.
Yeah, we talked about
Maureen,
that.
you agree?
I do agree. And I also...
So we talked about that the other night. It was pretty interesting. Like, who was that? I can't remember the caller. But we were talking about maybe the Uber driver, works with another person and he gets a little kickback or something. And he was able to say, hey, she lives alone. I just drove her away. They would know the situation. Because when you're in the car, she might be talking. They were thinking that she told the Uber driver that she was going to be spending the night over at her family's house. And so then that person told somebody else, and then they went to Nancy's home, but then Nancy decided to go home. But I mean, that's just guessing. There's no information that says that.
I think that from what we know about Nancy, she was just such a nice and kind and wonderful woman. And I've got a neighbor here that I just love like a second mom. She too is 84. And ever since this whole thing kicked off, I'm on her like white on rice. And I just want her to be 10 times more careful about everything. But the bottom line is they tell everyone anything someone asks them. If someone walked up to her door and said, "Can I come in and use your restroom?" a stranger, she would say yes. I think when you get old, you get one of two ways: either really ornery, like I'm probably going to be, or like Nancy or my neighbor Marcia here.
Gonna be.
Yeah.
I may have a head start on it a little bit. Yeah, it's all right, Jim.
And even though, they've made such a point to say that Nancy was cognitively totally with it and she had some physical ailments, but still, like, even with, I think about my grandparents when they were older, they were still cognitively with it, but sometimes they can just fall victim for things more easily.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at just what we're having to deal with today in terms of AI sort of takes over. You can create any image, you can take a picture and you can make it into a video saying anything and it looks very realistic. Those things are going to get better and they're going to be used to trick people and to make people more vulnerable. The generation before us had to deal with the internet coming out and dealing with, I remember in the beginning of email where all those sort of email spam lists and then fraud came through that and spamware and all sorts of stuff that people had to learn to deal with. Well, as you get older, it's harder to learn new tricks. It's harder to keep up with all those changes and all the ways in which people can take advantage of you. So many elderly people are getting calls from their bank or calls from Social Security or calls from the IRS, and they think, oh.
All right, what do we got here? Wow, really? Crystal O'Connell. How long does the challenge last for? She said, all match membership for membership up to 20. I mean, that's amazing. Up until when? That's pretty amazing. If we do that, we end up with 40 more, and then I'll donate 5 myself. So we'd have 45 more channel memberships. Wow, thanks so much. So that way you guys can help support the channel if you're out there. If you can just gift one, it just keeps adding up. And then, is there a time associated with it, Chris O'Connell, or what?
I have to take care of this.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, they're just being scammed. And there are people who take it further, who don't just want to scam older people. They want to take advantage of them in a number of other ways. And it's disgusting because they are so vulnerable, and there's no way to protect them unless you're with them 24/7.
Yeah, and I think that's I've seen in a
right.
lot of the comments, even in my videos, it's something that people struggle with. Like, you want to give your parents their independence still, and I'm sure maybe this is what the Guthries are going through too. She probably wanted to stay in her house. She's 84, but then you probably worry a lot too, as people come and go. Maureen, and then the thing is with like when you have, and I don't know if Nancy had home health care, but she had mobility issues. It doesn't seem like she was driving because she took the Uber, but you have sometimes different people coming in and out, or someone will call in sick and the agency will send someone different, that kind of thing. Do you think, Maureen, it'll be hard to, will the FBI be able to track like everyone who was in and out of the house?
Yep, they will. But before we get there, let's slow down a little bit, because I think the reason she wasn't driving at night is probably because she doesn't drive in the
Maybe
dark.
I'll do it at 5
And
once
she's
we
a
get to
very
15.
independent woman. Much like Savannah, our father died when I was the same age Savannah was when her dad died. And our mom became the mom and the dad. That makes you a very independent person. You all of a sudden have to do everything that you did as a...
Yeah, you guys, if you guys could send in channel memberships, it's a huge help to the channel, as Chris O'Connell will match all the way up to 20 gifted memberships. And I think even super chats count, but it'd be great to have memberships because it's right next to there on the button. So we have 4 right now, so that's like a 2-to-1, huge help for the channel. We've had some really bad days this month, so if you guys can think of considering supporting it, that'd be great.
A couple, as well as parent children, which is obviously very hard, especially teenagers. And so she's an independent woman that wants to remain independent. And that's how I want to be. I don't want to go into a home, and my mother said that to her dying day. I do not want to go into any kind of assisted living or anything at all. And she passed away in her sleep, which was a blessing. Very hard for all of us. But so I think Nancy was independent. Obviously, she was very with it. She didn't want to drive at night because a lot of people don't like driving at night, and they don't want to pull into their driveway home alone, come into an empty, dark house. But they're fine during the day. So it could have just been something like that.
What were you going to say, Jim?
No, I think she also had hearing issues and pretty powerful hearing aids which she probably removed at night, which makes her even more vulnerable.
Yeah. There was a few people I've talked to out here who were being kind of judgmental, like, why would they let her Uber? Like, who lets their 84-year-old mom Uber?
I've had
it didn't seem that weird to me. And also, like you were saying, Maureen, if your parent wants to be independent and,
See, that's exactly the wording I used on my show, didn't I? I said, sometimes parents, they lose complete independence if you have to drive them everywhere. So Uber gives them an opportunity to just go where they want when they want to go somewhere. I said that on my show too, so I agree with Brian Entin there. But come on, you guys, let's make do on these challenges when we have them here. Very few of you have helped support the channel tonight, other than Chris O'Connell and a few other that always are helping support the channel. So if you guys could do that, that would be fantastic.
Has been your parent for, you can only do so much. You kind of have to let them do their thing at some point and just hope that everything's going to be okay.
And in the TV show she did with Savannah, she had a margarita. And Savannah even said, don't drink the whole thing, Mom, or whatever, because she was tiny. So maybe she likes going over to Annie's house and playing games and having a margarita. And that way she couldn't drive home either.
What would the motivation be, Jim, for someone who worked in the house to come back this way?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't create the motivation. What the motivation was there, and what it did was it gave them the information that they now knew this was an opportunity to take advantage of. So we've discussed this before. There are a number of different potential motivations. Obviously, the first one, and if those letters are authentic, the highest priority one is money, kidnapping. But there's also revenge. There's also personal cause. There's sexual, and we really need to add to that the opportunity that somebody might have found by picking her up in an Uber or Lyft, or by delivering to the house, because then they may have drawn the connection between her and Savannah, and they may have been fixated on Savannah, and this may be the way they thought they could get Savannah's attention. And in fact, I believe that's what they did. They got Savannah's attention. They wanted the attention of Savannah and the world, because that's where those letters went, to the media, so they could be shared with the world. Yeah. And that's I think I've told you before, that's a very unusual thing in a kidnapping case. So
it seems like there's a lot. Every one of us have similar theories out there. We've talked about all these different things. But hey, guys, Chris O'Connell has that very generous challenge up there. We just need 15 more gifted memberships. You can just do one, everybody, and then we'll reach that number. I don't want it to be one of those nights where I have to keep asking over and over and over for, it's just such a nice thing for somebody to do. And it seems like it should be kind of simple to get to.
It means that maybe one of the other motives actually was driving this.
And I mean, I don't want to get too deep into this because it's just kind of disturbing and gross. But when you say sexual, I mean, when I think of her being an 84-year-old woman, I mean, is that a thing? Are there criminals out there that that's what they target?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. It is true. And usually they're in their 20s, very impulsive. It's not something that
no, I can't.
That appears to be the case in this case. I don't believe that the guy that was at the front door was in his 20s.
We've already gone over.
And I don't believe that it was impulsive, because he spent so much time planning it. And
we've already gone over all the that stuff, and not only that, I can prove to you that that's impossible. All right, so here, let's go over here. But you guys, can we try to reach the goal here? Why is this always so frustrating to me? I just, Here, look. We're going to go back over here. See this? Watch. This tile right here is the one that has the expirated blood on it. This is the first tile that hits the door. This is the second one that has the expirated blood. There's no expirated blood on it. And then he goes up to the door and he's messing around with the little plant, etc. And it doesn't, he doesn't put it up there. It doesn't work. And then he takes the camera off. Okay? And I mean, and even if there is a piece or so, I saw there one, you get a little bit of breeze in there and a little tiny light thing moves around. It doesn't mean anything. There's no meaning behind it. All right? So I just showed you that. Thanks, Sandy Shirley.
Doing things to at least attempt to hide his identity and keep his DNA from being left at the scene. I think he failed at that, and I'm hoping that is how this case is going to be solved pretty quickly.
Maureen, you've said to me before that you think the guy was on drugs, or was a druggie or something. I mean, do you still think that?
He looked to me like he was high. Like he smoked a blunt before he got there to take the edge off.
Oops. God, how can you say that somebody looked like they're high? That's just, come on.
Doing things to at least attempt to hide his identity and keep his DNA from being left at the scene. I think he failed at that, and I'm hoping that is how this case is going to be solved pretty quickly.
Maureen, you've said to me before that you think the guy was on drugs, like, or was a druggie or
How
something.
can you tell somebody's
do you still
high?
think that?
He looked to me like he was high, like he smoked a blunt before he got there to take the edge off, or had some tequila or something, because he just looked so relaxed. He looked so calm.
Or somebody who's done this a million
times. If you think of ripping the camera out of the mount or off the door frame, you know, most people when they do that, they make a face like this. This guy's mouth was so relaxed, like this.
What the hell?
Like
are you
he
talking
was
about?
taking a nap. He did.
What? Let me look. I can't even talk right now. What do you mean his mouth was relaxed? Let me look at this again. Hold on. Let me go back. So right there, you can kind of see his lips over here. Oh, he's definitely baked, man. That guy's had 17 puffs of some really good stuff, you know. All right, guys, we need 14 more gifted memberships to reach Chris O'Connell's goal, her challenge, I mean. So once we do that, she'll donate 20 memberships all by herself. And we need 14 more to get to the challenge max number. Yeah, so the only other shot you have is him has a light in his mouth. I don't know if that makes him look like he's stoned or anything. Man, I don't know. I don't know where you come up with that. And so look at there's a plant, and right there, yes, there's a piece that's on blood right there. That doesn't mean anything though. When he walked out of the door, he could have kicked something and it flew over there. It just doesn't mean anything. Right here, there's blood on top of the plant there. Okay, but the plant these are really light, you know. Any kind of wind blows it around. Okay. I guess somebody else has to try to, I mean, my words don't mean anything to people in here, you guys. So if you guys have can somehow convince people to, it's really important to reach these challenges. It makes everything work. So if we can do that, that'd be great.
His eyes were not, you know, like when you have that task face, you're.
It doesn't. Hey, Betty, I just showed you how there was no blood on the ground when he was messing around with the plant. Okay, so that means it has to have been put there before she came out, with dripping blood later. I know that other channels and whatnot tell you certain things. It's just not true. It's just they want to tell you things that allow them to add more people.
Even if you're doing something easy, like opening this, you'll see people go, you know, they just make even micro expressions. There was none of that. It was just complete relaxation, almost like he was high, or he, you know, because let's say the guy at the front door is getting paid to do this. He may not want to do it, but he wants the money. So he's like, all right, I'll do it, but I'm just going to smoke some weed and calm myself down a little bit before I get up in there.
If he was high, though, do you think he would have made more mistakes?
Well, I think it explains the stupid foliage move.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Wild
mean,
Bill.
it's like, oh, I got a good idea, you know?
I think you and a couple of the only ones listening. It's crazy.
Do you agree, Jim?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable assessment. Generally, I would think that somebody in that position should be experiencing a fairly high level of stress. and that didn't seem to be.
Yeah, I wonder why the. I don't agree with either of these experts on this one. A high level of stress. It just seems like if you're somebody here that's a criminal, you've done stuff like that before, maybe, you're just not really that freaked out. And by the way, we don't know if he's freaked out or not. Maybe that's what made him panic and try to put the grass on there. I'm not sure what that means, mayhem. But what are we at now? We need 13 more now? I'll tell you what, if you guys do 3, I'll donate my 5, and that'll get us up to 15, all right? So if we get 3 more, I'll donate 5 memberships.
Be exhibited at that time.
Yeah, he just looked sort of like, you're right. I mean, you're not the first person who said that, Maureen. I've heard from some
I
of the
think I was the first person, Brian. Actually.
I'm sorry. I actually meant to say you're not the only person who said that. Yeah,
okay,
there's some people in the neighborhood that I've talked to that I don't know where they come up with this theory, but they're like, they think that it's someone from this neighborhood who's like someone's adult kid, like that gets, I guess there's like people who live with their parents around here and get high all the time and are walking around the neighborhood. And that's kind of a theory that I've heard a couple times.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time a local adult child did something like this, but committed burglary or a robbery or something like that. But actually taking an 84-year-old out of the house takes this to a level that is just in a different world.
Yeah, and I think the gun as well adds a level of seriousness that just doesn't seem like, a neighborhood kid fooling around.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
But Jim, what do you think about
where he wore the gun?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What do you think about that, the phallic nature of that?
Well, I mean, maybe he thought he was a tough guy by doing it. I don't know. But the fact is that it is the most ridiculous place for it to be, unless he planned on it scaring someone to the point where he wouldn't have to, use any kind of force. And it's right there. It's obvious. And therefore, maybe he could keep his hands free and still threaten the person.
Yeah, you can also have a nice...
Thank you, Tamsters. It's interesting listening to all these different thoughts. A lot of them we've talked about. I don't really I don't think of it as a phallic. You know what I think he's doing in this? When he's walking up? I think he wants people to see the gun. Because he knows he's being recorded right now. Like, he knows that. He doesn't have any problem. He's just blocking the view from the car he's about to pull up there. I always notice they never bring up this stuff. But they, that's all he's doing with that. Hey, we need 1 more gifted membership, and then I'll donate 5, and then we'll be up to 15. I think it's just he wants people to think, there's a chance that he has the gun there because it makes it look like he's a right-handed person. But maybe he's a left-handed person, but he wanted it to stick out. Like, really clearly. It's kind of more on the right side, and it's right there. But, hey, look, everybody, I've got this. So it could be something like that. Or that's just where the hell he put it, who knows?
Solid holster on your hip and have, you don't have to use your hands all the time. Your hands are free anyways, but
it's just goofy. It's
so
goofy.
Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that stood out from the very beginning. Like, that just made it seem amateur. Everyone has been highlighting the holster, and the gun doesn't even fit the holster, right?
No.
Right.
No, that's for a long-barreled revolver. Jim, what do you think about
it wasn't even made for it.
The fact that there's blood on the front steps, but Brian talked earlier about
don't say
the same type of blood pattern on the interior. Isn't that right, Brian? Was that you that reported that?
No, so I haven't reported that because I don't know I haven't been able to confirm blood inside the house. I have heard other people talk about it, though, that they believe it was a similar blood pattern kind of like droplets as what was on the outside.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just, it tells me again that she was probably alive when she left the house. And you know, if you saw a
See, my thing
dragon-
is, for me, it's not probably, it's 100% she was alive when she left the house. Because she coughed on the ground as she's being removed. And we know that there's blood from the door all the way out to where the car was parked, basically. And we also know that Nancy, when we go back to this, I always like to show this, because Nancy was right there, right? Made it to this point, right here. She got to right there. So that means, you know, that if there was a video, you'd see Nancy kind of bent over here walking. He's helping her on the right, probably. Because she's walking, he has a gun on her, and they can walk right to the car that's parked right down there. All right, who's going to do the 1 channel membership so I can donate the 5?
Pattern, smear patterns on the floor, that would be another issue. But that's just not what we haven't heard anything about that. But this blood spatter pattern that appears to be from droplets, that tells me somebody was walking and bleeding, not mortally wounded.
What do you both
Come
make
on, Wild
of,
Bill.
and this just came out yesterday, and I actually talked to the neighbors, that the FBI has been going to their houses and asking them about an internet disruption. Did you experience internet disruption around the same time that Nancy went missing? So like around 2 a.m. February 1st.
Thanks,
and there's
Wild
actually
Bill.
some neighbors that live behind Nancy's house who told me that the FBI came to their house and they were showing them that their 2 Ring cameras on the back side of the house, which are closest to Nancy's, actually became disabled at that time, which they said is unusual. And the ones in the front still worked, but the ones in the back didn't. And there's been sort of, what were you saying, Maureen?
And the cables were not cut from your reporting, from what I saw,
No,
correct?
and those cables, I think, were going up to like a solar panel on the roof just to keep
Okay.
it powered, but it's still a Wi-Fi device. You know what I mean? It's connected through Wi-Fi to transmit the video. And in the video of the suspect in the front, in the picture, you can see a little antenna sticking out, and some have thought, is that some kind of like signal interference device? Do you think that's a possibility?
Sure, it's a possibility. You know, I would say you could go get one at Best Buy or maybe even Walmart.
Or Amazon, yeah.
Amazon would be even easier. But, you know.
A jammer.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he did that, but I don't know. It just seems the ways in which he bungled it. I don't know. That seems a little more sophisticated than what I'd expect from him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Maureen. Like it
Yep.
I don't know, but although the fact that they're asking about
You can do whatever you want.
internet
It's not the end of
disruption,
the show,
they
but
must.
sure.
There's something that they're looking into. It
Oh
seems
yeah,
like.
somebody
Right.
probably reported it to them, and
See, you guys, we could have made a big thing on here if you guys would all try to get to that challenge, but I guess we're done with it. We are spending what? What are you talking about, Jim? Come on, Jim.
so they're following up with the other.
Yeah, go ahead. We if somebody sends 5 more in, though, we would get the whole thing.
Neighbors, and it is possible. It's
But that's military grade. If you're taking out a neighborhood, you're talking a military grade signal jammer, which is not easy to get your hands on.
yeah.
That's a
But
whole
I don't know.
different-
They took out the neighborhood.
block.
Just, I mean,
Not even a block, next door neighbor.
if only one person reported it, then maybe it's just that one neighbor in the backyard. And, you know, obviously at some point he was in the backyard.
Oh, you did
So
20 anyways. Well, thank
Maybe
you.
he got
Farther.
out of range at that time.
Thanks,
It's
Chris
quite
O'Connell.
far away, like
Wow,
100
look at all
yards,
those
right?
people.
It is
75
far,
yards.
but there's this desert area behind Nancy's house, kind of like a rectangle, and they live on the same like patch of desert as Nancy.
Wow.
So one thing I thought of is
Look at all
if
those.
this guy came in through the
That's
desert in the
right.
back, maybe if he had that thing on and as he was passing the houses, it was interfering. You know what I mean? Like, even though it can't reach that far, maybe it did that while he was passing by.
Because you're going to have it on while you approach the location because you don't want the cameras to capture you. But Brian, you've been saying since day one
I think if a judge declares a person's
just the Wi-Fi on Nancy's block is terrible. I mean, you're lucky if you get one bar. So when I first heard the reporting that there may be more than one house that doesn't have their Wi-Fi was out or whatever, I'm like, it's just one of those dead zones. It's like near you, Jim, where you just pull out a little bit and you have no connectivity to anything. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not buying into it yet. I'm not buying into it because that guy on the front porch was so unsophisticated. However, I will say that if there was a jammer involved, there for sure are at least 2 offenders.
No.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Because the level of sophistication, I just don't see it in front porch phallic bandit. I just don't see it.
He doesn't.
Oh, the other strange thing is if it was a jammer.
Yeah. See, this guy right here uses logic and common sense. Her comment that she just made doesn't use that. When she said, oh, if that's a jammer, then for sure there's 2 people, right? What logic is that? Can anybody explain that to me? If it was a walkie-talkie, maybe. But if it's a jammer, how does that mean that there's 2 people? Like, what in that sentence makes it 2 people? That's why he said, are you sure? Because he probably thinks more like I do, just kind of like, wait, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about?
Then why did Nancy's camera in the front still record those images? Although I don't know, did you turn it off? It's weird. The thing is, it's a strange situation. And also the other thing is the neighbors whose cameras went out on the back, and I've kind of gotten to know them. They're nice people. I believe them. They're trustworthy. They were telling me at the same time that those cameras went out, which they didn't realize they went out until later when they went back and looked at the log. But at that same time, around 2 a.m., their dog woke them up, which is very unusual. Like, when you have a dog, these things. Like, my dog never wakes me up in the middle of the night, like, unless there's a major, sickness or bathroom issue or whatever. But their dog never wakes up in the middle of the night, woke them up at that same time that the cameras went out to go outside. So they go outside with the dog, and they actually showed me the video. They didn't want me to share the video on TV or anything because they don't really want to be identified, but they showed me the video, and the dog just looks in the direction of Nancy's house, with the ears up, and is just staring. Well, and they were wondering,
I got to hear this part again. I think that's valuable.
Of Nancy's house, with the ears.
Wait, hold on.
Or anything because they don't really want to be identified, but they showed me the video. Middle of the night, woke them up. Trustworthy. They were telling me at the same time that those cameras went out, which they didn't realize they went out until later when they went back and looked at the log. But at that same time, around 2 a.m., their dog woke them up, which is very unusual. Like, when you have a dog, these things. Like, my dog never wakes me up in the middle of the night, like, unless there's a major, sickness or bathroom issue or whatever. But their dog never wakes up in the middle of the night, woke them up at that same time that the cameras went out to go outside. So they go outside with the dog, and they actually showed me the video. They didn't want me to share the video on TV or anything because they don't really want to be identified, but they showed me the video, and the dog just looks in the direction of Nancy's house, with the ears up, and is just staring. Well, and they were wondering, is that a frequency? How dogs can hear things? No,
I don't think it's a frequency of a jammer. I think he's hearing something over at the house. They can hear, dogs can hear way better than people can. I think that's pretty interesting.
If it was a signal jammer, or maybe, I don't know, what do you make of that?
Dogs have, their sense of smell is 10,000 times more discerning than our sense of sight. So I am not surprised. I know my dog will start barking when somebody is a block away.
Yeah, I'm sure they.
I don't know how he could.
They're probably
inside
working
the house,
through the data,
not by a window. And somehow he knows that somebody's coming up the street. They just have better senses than we do, and I'm not surprised at all that that dog was barking and that
they know when my wife's coming home.
Nancy's house time. Because there was something going on there. That's for sure.
And she's not even there.
I would put a lot of weight on that because, especially knowing their dog like that. If it was a dog that's up all the time, like you said, that would be a different story. But if the dog doesn't get up in the middle of the night and that dog is up looking in that direction with their ears up, I would definitely pay
Do you think
attention
it's
to that.
like this house here?
Yeah, and
or
it's so.
you know?
I mean, you live in the desert, Jim. It's so quiet out here, especially like at 2 a.m. I'm sure. I mean, people drive by now because like everybody's coming to look at Nancy Guthrie's house and they leave flowers. But normally, it's such a quiet neighborhood, and I would just imagine that, I don't know, maybe the dogs smell things. They probably can sense anything that's unusual.
I think he said he uses Starlink. I think if I ever go traveling, doing this kind of stuff, I'm going to be getting that. I've looked it up. It's not too bad. It's like $200 for the device, and then $50 a month or $50 for like a huge amount of gigabytes. Might be worth doing. You get the little Starlink satellite connection. You probably couldn't be in the middle of a city or anything. But hey, guys, why don't you help out Chris O'Connell's support tonight and support the channel on your own too. We need to have a couple good nights this month to make up for nights that we had early in the month that we're still trying to recover from. We had 3 of them. Every single night this month has been worse than every single day last month. So if you have the ability to, that would be great. Thank you.
Because it's normally, there's not much going on,
Yeah, they can smell and they can hear better than we can. And I think, it's just unfortunate that
in the back of Nancy,
it didn't raise an alarm to the level that, that somebody called 911.
That kind of makes sense. We were talking about this.
Right, which I get why. I mean, that wouldn't probably make me call 911. But looking at the video of the dog just staring, it was really kind of weird that was right around the same time that their cameras went out and that Nancy disappeared,
What time was that the dog did that?
It was around 2 a.m. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if it's not a jammer, do you think it could be a walkie-talkie? And if so, what does that say about the level of sophistication of this person?
Well, it could be either.
I wish I knew the precise time of that. Because when he says around 2, is that 2:05, and that's when the car pulled back up again? Something like that. That's what I think, is the car pulled up around 2:05, 2:06, something like that. Because that's when it was moved to the front to walk down the path. I don't know. I don't remember. Hey, Jim, you've never been timed out tonight. I can see it. You weren't timed out tonight. And Bill hasn't been timed out either. Have you been timed out, Wild Bill Wassman? Yeah.
A jammer and a walkie-talkie on the outside probably look almost exactly the same. I mean, there's certainly iterations of it that look exactly the same. It could also have been a police scanner for him to monitor whether or not there's any police activity in the neighborhood, whether the police were getting called, whether he tripped a silent alarm. All those kinds of things could have happened. And that might be something that he picked up from, watching a crime show on TV or something. But it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't add to his level of criminal and forensic sophistication because of the gaping holes in his plan. I mean, the grabbing that bunch of brush to try to cover the camera. I mean, it was such an amateur move. It really undid all of his preparation and planning, because it just showed that he had no idea what to do.
You know what, though? I think these right here can actually interfere. Like if you tune it in to the wrong, I'm not sure if this can be also used as a radio or if it's just I'm not sure. Let's see. Digital, handheld radio, fire, police. So I don't know. Maybe these, it does look like that. Could have been what was sticking out of that pocket.
Hey, thank you, Glamis Girl and Cheryl Bullock.
With a camera. I'm certain he could have found out, with a tiny little bit of research, he could have found out how to address that issue, but he didn't do that. And so it just tells me that he was focused on something else. And there's no question that raised the chances of him getting caught dramatically.
And I think the walkie-talkie thing also, if it was in fact a walkie-talkie, I think that's indicative of there being more than one person, and probably the driver of the vehicle had a walkie-talkie as well. They've got a lot of really good ones on the market, and they work for a pretty good distance. And with that full moon, I could see them coming down the street, maybe without even their headlights on, and then turning into Nancy's driveway. And he could have just said, hey, I'm going to click 3 times when I need you to come in the back door or whatever, and we're going to carry her out the front or something. But, the walkie-talkie tells me he was probably not. That's just what it telegraphs to me, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, if it's a walkie-talkie,
right.
You would only use that if you wanted to talk to somebody else. If it's a police scanner, he could be an individual. If it's some kind of jammer, he could be an individual. Right. I just, to me, there's just simply no, it's not that I'd rule out a second person or more people. It's that I don't see any evidence of it. And until there is actual evidence of it, it is. It's just speculation because we just don't know what it was in his pocket. And we just don't know.
If it's a walkie-talkie, then there probably is another person.
Jim, when I think of the evidence of her walking out of there, I doubt that she walked out because there were no voids there was so the blood, let's say the pattern of the blood is concentrated here, but the sphere is this big, it's around. You would have a void here from one foot or from another foot or from something.
I think there are voids.
There don't appear to be any voids, which is another reason why that mat out in front would have been so important to take for 27 reasons. But there didn't appear to be any voids.
Yeah, let's see. It's hard, you don't know what a void is in such a small, I don't agree with that. Look, I mean, when you look at this shots, like, let me go to the one I think it's this one. Yeah. I mean, what's a void, right? I mean, I know what a void is, but in this shot, her foot could have been right there. After, like, first she's over here and then bends over and coughs, then steps here, then steps there, steps over here. There is space to put a foot there. Those are a foot long. Her foot fits in there. So you don't know what a void is. If it was constant dripping all over the place, I could see wondering, but it isn't that way. There are spaces. See that? Look, right here. That's plenty of room for a foot to be. See that? And there's plenty of room right there for a foot to be. I just don't agree with that kind of statements. It's like people are, I don't know. It's frustrating. Hey, thanks, Pam. You guys see what I'm saying? There are voids in this where a foot could fit. It's not like this constant blood and all of a sudden, wow, there's no way that her foot could have been there. Hey, thanks, Miss Kyla.
So for me, it was in my mind, she's wrapped up in something, and they're carrying her out, and that's that's why the shape of the blood droplets, they're all round, and the sphere is intact.
Right, but if the guy was behind her,
that means it went straight down. It wasn't moving at speed, and I don't know. I think if she was wrapped up, that you wouldn't see that. I mean, if she was wrapped up and she's still spattering blood, then she wasn't wrapped up well.
Right.
Yeah, I think this guy's more like me. You could see him just going, oh boy. It's like the claims of fact that people make or get frustrating for somebody like him.
AKA myself, you know.
My thought was she was wrapped up a little bit like a burrito, and when they got to the front door, they had to back up to open that big,
Okay.
huge oak door. Then they had to
then-
open the gate door, the wrought iron one. And then as they're
What?
trying to get down, it gets maybe her
What
head
wrought
just
island
turned,
one? What
and
wrought
that's
island
when the
What right-
blood
what right-
happened. I don't know.
What ride? What are you talking about? Hold on, let me do this again.
And then as they're trying to get down, it gets maybe her head just turned, and that's when the blood happened. I don't know. I'm there.
You wouldn't see that. I mean, then she wasn't wrapped up well.
Right. My thought was she was wrapped up a little bit like a burrito, and when they got to the front door, they had to back up to open that big, huge oak door.
What do you mean when they got to the front? Okay, so inside the house.
Then they had to open the gate
the
door,
door.
the
Okay,
wrought iron one, and then as they're trying to get down, it gets maybe her head just turned, and that's when the blood happened. I
know, but you ever notice again? Nobody's talking about expirated blood. Again, I mean, it's like, again we have this. It's so frustrating. Like, that's a huge element to the case that everybody just ignores over and 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 over again. Right there. This is a cough and blood drops. That means her head was relatively still. You could see opening the door. She bends over, coughs, and then they walk out. You know, that makes more sense. If she's wrapped up like a burrito, everybody, listen. How would there be blood? Okay, and then you're holding her, and then this blood drops. The guy that's holding her head end of the burrito is going to step all over the blood. There'd be footprints everywhere. You might not even see a valid blood unless she dropped, unless he just randomly stepped in the same one she stepped in. I think there's almost no way that she was wrapped up like a burrito and pulled out of there. I don't even agree with the fireman Carey version at all. Yeah, he mentioned it. You know why he mentions it, Robin? Because I messaged him on Facebook and I told him, hey, look at this. I think this is expirated blood. And he said, hey, it could be. Think Jodi Arias's sink. So he got that from me. Okay, but of course you don't hear that portion of it, but it's just, that is what it is. Nobody had noticed it or mentioned it until we were the first channel by far to bring this up. But that's exactly what that is.
don't know. I'm there. You know, I've walked through it a million different ways, and this is what we call,
Bad
Brian.
rules.
This is what I call dropping the dominoes. When Jim says something, or a group of any investigators will say, well, how could this have happened this way? How about that way? And this is just how we work.
Challenge
We
each
just walk
other.
through it and
Yeah.
challenge each other all the time.
Yeah, I mean, she was a small woman, and
But yes, Robin, yes, he does.
She may have put up a fight, which is how she got injured, which is why there's blood. But I don't think that guy that came to the front door would have any problem carrying her out alone.
She did weigh 150 pounds.
Or walking her out.
That's not light. I mean, but I think also she could have, the altercation, quote
How
unquote,
come
could have
people,
happened.
let me just say, why can't people just come up with the more logical answer of she walked out on her own? She literally was made to walk at gunpoint, and when she coughed, she bent over and coughed, and then her nose is still dripping as she's kind of bent over, very similar to this one. Doesn't that just seem reasonable? Look at right there. Look, pretend that is Nancy right here. That's Nancy. This guy here is to the right of this, and he's forcing her out at gunpoint. Right there, she's coughing, but let's say lower. She's bent over more, and then she's being moved out at gunpoint down this walkway right there to a car right there. It seems almost obvious to me. How in the hell? I don't know, man. Maybe she's got her hands tied or something. I don't know. What is there?
She obviously
it's almost like people want to envision these other things, the things that aren't. I mean, it could be anything, right? I'm just trying to tell you what is most likely, common sense type of thinking, right? But people want it to be this sort of, oh man, they were carrying your firemen carry. Oh, they were carrying, one was at the back and the front, wrapped up like a burrito. It was all the. It's just. It doesn't have to be that complex,
had her hearing aids out and they were giving her commands and she couldn't respond because she didn't know what they were saying,
Right. Maybe she couldn't hear well. Yeah, I've thought about that too.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, and it could also have been a blitz attack while she was sleeping. So
right.
Yeah, like you have Richard Allen. He did it by himself. He had a gun, controlled 2 girls. Except the nut jobs say, oh, there's all these other people. Brian Kohberger, he did it all by himself, killed 4 people in probably less than 6 minutes with a K-bar knife. They're mostly all drunk, and they're sleeping, and he killed them all. There wasn't any other people in that one. And here we've got a case where there's a guy with a gun with a 84-year-old woman. He probably could easily get her to do what he wanted because he had the gun. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah. I mean, I think at the beginning, Zozo, we all thought, at the beginning, we thought, man, maybe there's a whole bunch of people or 2 or 3 people that were doing this. But now we haven't seen any evidence of another person. And then when you work through, we didn't think about right at the very beginning, we didn't know about the blood. Remember that picture wasn't put out for 3 or 4 days, the one with the blood spatter. So once we see that she's still alive, then that's when, and that's the only person we're looking at, it just seems like, all right, this could just be a one-person deal. Yeah, well, it could be more than one, but there's no evidence at all that there's more than one person. That's the thing. That's what I always want people to say is, like in the Kohberger case, I made a post in one of these groups and I said, are there still idiots in here that think that he didn't do it? And I was like, they just all kept going, oh, I do. And I want to just say, well, give me one exculpatory piece of information. They can't do it. So the thing is, in this case, what is the one piece of evidence that's a fact that points to there being another person? Like what, and what element is there a necessity for there to be a second person? I guess that's a better way to word it. What in this case is a necessity for there to be another person?
And that, that would have caused the same thing. But again, if she was unconscious, if she was not capable of walking out on her own, I think she would have been wrapped up completely. It's very simple to just grab the comforter off the bed and you got her completely covered. But I don't think that happened. I think she was threatened with that weapon, and although she resisted at some point, that weapon overcame that resistance and she was walked out. But that's my assessment. But that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but see, Michelle, she just goes, Zozo, I do as well. Okay, that's great. I know, What is it that makes you believe that? Just a feeling that you have? Because there's no evidence so far that points to there being a second person. Okay? So when you say you do as well, I get it. That's great. But what I want you to do is give me the evidence that you've seen that points to that. Right? It seems like people just avoid that. It's all just gut feeling. Oh, I just think there's 2. I just think there's 2, Gray. Well, how come? Well, I just do,
Right.
Where do you both think things go from here? I mean, we're now, 30 plus days.
Where do we go?
Yeah, the fact that they're talking to the neighbors
What do you mean,
again.
who entered the back?
I don't really know what that
He
means.
did.
I mean, is that a good sign? Are they just back at the beginning again with nothing? Like, what's your sense?
Listen, there have been, I know, Maureen, you've experienced this as well as I during investigation.
All right, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do my here it is. Look, watch. Right here. So here's like the Michelle H. Here's the vehicle. I don't know where it parked, but it was somewhere else other than the house originally. Then the individual, he gets out, and then he walks over to the house. That's, wherever he parked. I don't know where he parked. Then he goes over to the house. This is probably like 140 or so. Then he goes into the archway, and here he is. He's going into the archway. And then he goes over, not really concerned. But he's going to get that, he's going to block that camera. And then he ends up removing it so that when he pulls a car up there, it will not be seen on camera. That's all. That's the only reason he needed to remove this, was because his car is going to be right there and very visible to this camera. So he wasn't aware. That's why I don't even think it was a jammer, right? Because if it was a jammer, he wouldn't be that concerned about any of this stuff. He would just turn it on and go into the house and feel great. All right, so right after this doesn't work, this little thing he sets up on there. I mean, it is on there, I guess, but he kept moving it around. Then he removes the camera, and then here he goes. He's leaving the house right here. Because he's going to go back and he's going to wait 15, 20 minutes. He's going to wait to see if law enforcement shows up, knowing that he just activated the camera. Because apparently that camera has a light that goes on. He knows that it activated. Now he wants to see if anybody was called to show up. Well, he waited, and there isn't a response. So then, this is just a theory based on the evidence that we have, right? So then this is when he moves the car around to park it. So drives around and then parks the vehicle right there. And then that's why he removed that camera, because his car is right there. And then he's going to get out of the vehicle. And then he goes around the back of the house. And that's how he's going to enter the home. And so I think he might have gone around back here and then just hopped over that little short fence that's back there. And then in doing so, he activated at 2:12 that camera that was on this building right here, whatever you call it, the pool house or whatever. And then he enters the home, and he goes into the home, and then he confronts Nancy in there. Then after about 14 minutes or so in there, they head out, and once her body is probably 20-30 feet away from the receiver for her pacemaker, it disconnects, or it doesn't disconnect, but it loses connection to it. And then they go into the vehicle. After he takes her out the door, she coughs over by the door, then he walks down to the car, and then he drives away. I mean, that's just kind of how it's just so simple, Now, I'm not saying that's absolutely what happened, but I think he's the one that went through the back door. So when you say who entered the back, he did. I mean, what would make you think otherwise?
Many, many times, the offender has been talked to
Yeah,
earlier
I don't
in
think
the
he had a
investigation,
jammer.
but they just
It's
didn't
an
have
interesting
enough
theory.
information, enough probable cause, enough to point in that person's direction. But later on, as you go through this, I mean, a good detective
Yeah, there
work
could be
is
somebody else driving the car.
rehashing everything, going through
I can
everything
say that.
over and over again until you get the right answers. But in this case,
I just think that, see, what he's saying is exactly what we've said a million times. Let's go back a little bit. What was that? I think one person. Yeah, I think if there is another person, they were just sort of like the driver maybe they're the ones that moved the car. Maybe he stayed more on the property and just kind of waited back in the bushes for a while, and then eventually drove, and then that other person drove the car and waited for him. Could be something like that. I don't know. But it's just, there could be. All we know is there's one person. Well, let me just throw it like this. All we know for sure is that there's one person, correct? We see it. We see a person. And because of that, we then say, could one person do all of the elements that we are now aware of? Every single thing that we're aware of that was done, could one person do those things? And the answer is yes. Okay, now if there's other elements that seem more complex and that come out later, then we might change how we think about this. I mean, you guys can think whatever the hell you want. I'm just going to argue against it. Because when you're saying, I think there's two people, it's just pure guessing, right? Where we're not guessing when we say there's one, and that one person could do all these things easily. All right? So once you figure out one element that proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that could not be done without one person, with more, could not be done with one person, that needed to be two, then let me know.
That too.
Yeah. So sad.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, and it could also have been a blitz attack while she was sleeping. So,
right,
and that, that would have caused the same thing. But again, if she was unconscious, if she was not capable of walking out on her own, I think she would have been wrapped up completely. It's very simple to just grab the comforter off the bed and you got her completely covered. But I don't think that happened. I think she was threatened with that weapon, and although she...
Yeah, this is what I'm saying to you guys. I bet I would like this guy.
Resisted at some point.
Threatened with the weapon, resisted it. That's how the bloody nose happened.
That weapon overcame that resistance, and she was walked out.
And she was walked out. Did you hear that? He said exactly what I've been saying. Not saying he's right or I'm right, but this guy right here, isn't he like a pretty big time, like, profiler type, Clementi?
That's my assessment, but that doesn't make it right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly where do you both think things go from here? I mean, we're now,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
30 plus days. The fact that they're talking to the neighbors again, I don't really know what that means. I mean, is that a good sign? Are they just back at the beginning again with nothing? Like, what's your sense?
Listen, there have been, I know, Maureen, you've experienced this as well as I during investigations.
I don't think she was
many times. The offender has been talked to earlier in the investigation, but they just didn't have enough information, enough probable cause, enough to point in that person's direction.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, as you go through this, a good detective work is rehashing everything,
he was just
going
saying
through
maybe
everything
something like
over
that.
and over again until you get the right answers. But in this case, I don't
think the sheriff would have mentioned if a comforter was taken. He's just throwing out an idea. If a comforter was taken, they're not going to mention that. You know why? Because that would be perfect for that one thing that points to a, that only the killer would know. No, that's not what I'm saying, Zozo. I think there's just one person there at the house. If he was, if it was a hired hit of some sort, that's not a second person. We're talking about at the house that night, that there's just one person. Whether there's somebody, a mastermind behind the scene, that wouldn't shock me a bit if there's some other person that was, either it's a hired hit or some other person was working with them just to say, hey, here's a good place to go. Who knows? But right now there's only one evidence of one person being there that night at the scene.
They're also probably developing forensic genetic genealogy suspects and following people and hopefully confirming DNA from those people. And
Yeah, well,
I think
it's
they're
that
also
theory with the family member right back here, remember?
definitely doing
Unlocking
as
this
much
door right here.
electronic analysis as possible. I mean,
After
cell
dropping her
phones
off.
and door cams and traffic cams and license plate readers, and there will be literally thousands and thousands of records to go through. So it takes time. But
It's so daunting.
It's not a cold case until they've done all of that and gotten nowhere. So let's hope that in the process of doing all that, that they actually are able to solve this case.
And let's say Jim and I were working this was our case and we were working it, and we had a feeling about one person. We're not just going to go to that one person's house. We're going to figure out a way to go to 30 people's houses so we don't, raise any red flags or raise suspicions or whatever.
And we'll talk to all those 30 people. We'll talk to all their neighbors and their relatives and their coworkers. It's a lot of work, but
It is.
you do it because you don't want to let one person know. I'm sure they have talked to people, and we have said this a number of times in the behavioral analysis unit when we're working serial killer cases. When cops come to us after years of not being able to do anything, the case just is cold and they haven't moved forward at all, we say, go back and talk to the first 20 people that you spoke to. The guy's probably one of them. And so they do. And sometimes, like in the Green River Killer case, sometimes that guy, presented as meek and absolutely not, somebody they thought would be killing dozens of women. But when they talked to him again, one of the detectives got a bad feeling about it, and then they went out and talked to street workers, and they all said this guy was extremely violent. This guy was horrible, and that's when he rose to the top of the list. And of course, by that time, the DNA had the ability to develop DNA on clothing, for example, on victims' clothing, had literally reached a new level. So we had them resubmit the most well-preserved clothing from victims, and sure enough, they got a hit to that guy. So
Wow.
that's how it was solved.
That's awesome. And it's also not uncommon to see handwritten notes in an old file that says, I think so-and-so is good for it, but we just haven't been able to develop the probable cause. So sometimes you have to wait. And sometimes you have to wait for something as simple as someone breaking up with their girlfriend or their wife, because when they say hell hath no fury, that is no joke. I mean, if you can interview an ex and there's a lot of animosity there, you're going to get all kinds of 411, if you know what I'm saying.
So in addition to that, with time, people might be afraid to come forward,
Thanks,
who might
Wild
fear
Bill Wassman.
that retribution, who might fear that the person would know about it and come after them. With time, those fears dissipate. And a number of cold cases that I've helped solve were because people who were in a situation at the time, they were talked to or they refused to talk. And then later, they moved away, they got a different job, they were in a different relationship, whatever. Then the next time you went to talk to them,
one person there that night.
they were
That's it.
a fountain of information. And that's how a lot of cold cases are solved. So this is not a cold case yet. They have a lot of people that they still are talking to and will talk to.
What's trigger treating? What's happening?
I'm very confident. I'm very confident that this case will be solved.
You haven't been timed out, Jim.
And Brian,
you
did you say yesterday that, or the day before, that the FBI agents seemed to have a sense of optimism, and that they seemed, to just. I like that, and I like when it goes quiet. And I think the fact that everyone moved out of their temporary quarters there, and now they're back at the Phoenix Division. They have a couple of detectives from Pima County on a task force. I think that's fantastic, because what that does is that takes all the bosses out of your hair. and they're not breathing down your neck anymore, and you can just get focused. You're going to have resources. You're going to be able to get what you need to get when you need to get it, and you can get the job done. And I think I think they're able to just speak freely, like you do in an open squad bay where you're trying to figure stuff out. You're bouncing all the theories off everyone. And just like we said now, a couple of things, and then Jim will say, I don't think of that because of this reason. And that's exactly how we talk when we're in the squad bay. And that's what we call the squad room or whatever. But wouldn't you agree, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. And I am certain that they are working on a number of different avenues. It's not just one theory or one investigative avenue. And some of it just takes time. And hopefully the science will come through for us. Hopefully the crime scene investigators, Maureen and I both did that. Maureen did it for a lot longer than I did, but we were crime scene investigators for the FBI, and we call them evidence response team members. And hopefully those people who collected the evidence when the crime scene was pristine, as pristine as it was going to be, hopefully they did a good job taking samples from a lot of different places.
When you're on the inside of an investigation like this, and time goes by like a month, and it's not moving as quickly as you hoped, can they overcomplicate things? Like, can you start going down rabbit holes when in reality, like the simpler option is actually going to turn out to be? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I don't know how it works with police, but even like when I'm working on stories and stuff and I'm having issues figuring something out, sometimes my mind will go down a whole wrong path but it's really just the simple answer.
Well, right. Yeah, Occam's razor, yeah, that typically applies. However, what they have to do is literally, it's basically a shotgun approach. You have to look at all different avenues. You can't, you're really doing the investigation a disservice if you put blinders on and try to look down one alley. You literally have to keep your mind open. You have to pursue everything. And the fact that it takes time for answers to come back gives you the opportunity to send out questions in a lot of different directions. And then as the answers come back, eventually, hopefully, they'll all start forcing you into one direction. But you never want to lead the investigation into a particular direction, because it's the best way to screw up and not get the bad guys.
And I always say the hallmark of any good investigation or any good investigator is to go exactly where the evidence leads you. So we all have to open our aperture to the biggest opening. And even when people say silly stuff sometimes, you're like, you have to at least consider it in some way, shape, or form.
I consider it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, they're working on a number of different things, and they're just waiting for that. We don't know what the big lead's going to be or what the big break is going to be in this case, but there's going to be.
This is a case right now that's, I can tell. Clemente, I think he said something similar in this, is that there isn't enough information that the public has to really formulate a rock solid theory where you just absolutely, you got it, like this is going to be it. And so that's what's kind of frustrating about it. But at some point they're going to come forward with something, and we'll have the answer. Once they come forward with some more information, that's when we can go boom, right? And then hopefully it matches up with some of the stuff we've already said.
A big break, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, when you said you have to consider everything, someone was telling me, like, actually someone who works at the sheriff's office here, that even like when the psychics call in, you still have to listen because they could be trying to translate a message to you. They might not really be a psychic. They might just be saying they're a psychic, but they actually know. Like they were just saying, you can't discount anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it may be someone trying to give a tip or a lead, but they're disguising themselves as a psychic.
Exactly. So he was just making the point, like, you've got to You've got to listen to all the tips, even if the person sounds a little kooky at first.
A lot of them, $1 million is going to bring out the kooks. I can tell you that.
As always, I really appreciate Maureen and Jim for taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, very cool. Good interview there. Brian Entin. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Just listening. It's kind of cool. I mean, doesn't it feel kind of cool that we've been pretty much talking about at least all the stuff, the same stuff that Jim Clemente, his thoughts are really similar to what we've been saying on this channel the whole time. I think it's pretty good. Pretty cool. They still all seem to leave out that X-rated blood. Well, except he says she was alive when she left the house, so you don't need to know that. I mean, even mention it, but that's like 200 miles. It's in Arizona, though. She had a heart problem, and she just lived, I don't know, she just disappeared, but she easily could have been abducted, too. There's no information on it, though, so there's nothing to discuss about it that I could find, anyway. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, this is from February 16th. She's been missing that long? Jesus. This other lady, yeah, she's been missing. Actually, it was all the way back in beginning of February. She's been missing. Now that I remember it. Well, that's all I got, you guys. That's all I got. Let's see if there's any update on the 3. Let's see. 2 children. What was her name? Oh yeah, that's the one I had on the screen. Aaliyah Henderson. Let's see what there's any updates on that. This lady killed her 2 children and put them in the suitcases and buried them in a park right next to her house. Doesn't look like there's anything new on this. Oh, let's see. That's her.
The very first case judge on this document is Aaliyah Henderson. She has 2 counts of aggravated murder.
Look at this psycho here.
Good morning, Mr.
I don't know. No, I haven't found anything.
All right, so we're going to first hear from, regarding your
What do you mean
bond,
find
we're
any
gonna first hear
relation? What do you mean?
The prosecutor from the state, and regarding charges against you, charges that you are presumed innocent, on charges that allow for you to have an attorney without cost. And after we hear from the prosecutor, we'll hear from your attorney, okay? Madam Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, this is an allegation of murder in 2 separate charges. It's alleged in this matter that the defendant did cause the death of her 2 daughters, 8 and 10 years old. The badly decomposed bodies of the 2 little girls were found in shallow graves in Cleveland in suitcases.
Yeah, right next to her house.
Your Honor, the defendant is 28 years old. She scores a 1 and a 1 on the PSA, has no record noted on the PSA. Your Honor, based on the nature of the allegations and
No bail.
the charges in this case, I would ask for nothing less than a $2 million bond. I would implore the court to consider setting a $2 million bond, cash surety at this point, for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Public Defender.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Henderson is waiving her preliminary hearing on
What a
both
loser.
cases, and I ask for the most reasonable bond you can give her.
I don't know what elderly man just. That was a woman. That was a woman, Sandy, that we were
Judge,
talking about.
She's been in jail 3 days, and as you've seen the public safety assessment, she's looking for a job and she has a place to live. And all of her life has been in this area. Thank you.
Have you seen her PSA?
I have. I just said, yeah.
Let's go over that. So, no history of violence. History, 1-1, no history of violence, no convictions, no charges.
But it's okay to.
Given the nature of.
Yeah, the nature.
The allegations, as well as my concern for the safety of the public, we will deal, the bond will be $2 million.
Yeah, good.
Ms. Henderson, work with your attorney, go to your hearings, and fight for your innocence, okay? Good luck. You take care.
Good luck. Fight for your innocence. What the hell kind of... I don't think judges should say shit like that. Let's see. I did just get something sent by Lynn a minute ago. Man, it's been, you guys are like massive lull city tonight. After a long time ago, we reached the challenge, but man, whew, after that, you're always hoping, man, this could be one of those nights that make up. Let's see. She just sent me. Oh yeah, somehow there's like a utility box. I mean, I don't know. They were made aware that this utility box was open, they say, around the corner. Well, I didn't find it. I was looking around the corner. I didn't find it, so I don't know what they're talking about. But, you know, it says 84-year-old Guthrie disappeared. Yeah, we know that. On Sunday, a Pima County Sheriff Department spokesperson confirmed to News 4 Tucson that investigators are aware of a damaged utility box around the corner from Guthrie's home. The spokesperson said it's being reviewed as part of the ongoing investigation at this time. Well, I wasn't talking about that person, Sandy. I don't know about another guy that's missing, nor would I know about a connection. I don't know what you're referring to. So to say, is there any connection? And you're talking about some other guy that's missing. I don't know how to make that connection because I don't even know the guy that you're talking about. You get it? Like, I never even knew about this other guy. All we talked about tonight was this other lady that went missing in Arizona. That's it. Yeah, so I don't know where, you know, Nancy's home is right here. So around the corner, you would think would be something like, you know, right over here, or, you know, I don't really know. Okay, the guy was found. Cool. All right. Yeah, the military guy isn't related. I just don't know what you're referring to at all. So. No, I don't even know who you're referring to. And apparently he was found. Yeah, I don't know where that box is. I was looking around while they were talking. But anyways, I think it's going to do it, you guys. Just spinning my wheels. So we're going to go ahead and call it an evening. So thank you for Wild Bill Wassman. And let's see, then we had Kim from Rochester, then Sandy Will, then Betty Black, and then 555. And then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1. Then Jim Lawn gifted 5, who's not been timed out once tonight. And then Chris O'Connell gifted 10. Then Jim Lawn. And then Chris O'Connell gifted another 10. Then Wild Bill Wassman, Betty Black gifted 1. Then Tamsters. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 10 more. Man, let's see. Yeah, we wouldn't have made the goal without wouldn't even been close, but, we would have, let's see, 30, 50, 36. Yeah, we wouldn't even have made the goal tonight if you weren't here. So thank you, Chris O'Connell. Appreciate it. So then we had Wild Bill Wassman, who made a huge difference too. And then Mayhem, Randizzle Randy, Wild Bill Wassman again. Then Lisa Valenzuela, Betty Black, Sandy Will, Jim Lawn, Shandy Shirley, Wild Bill Wassman. And this is when we're working on trying to get the 20 gifted memberships for Chris O'Connell to match, but very few people decided that was worth doing. And then we had Tamsters, then Wild Bill Wassman. Then I gifted 5 because we managed to get to 10. And then Chris O'Connell gifted 20 anyways, despite the lack of interest. Then we had Glamis Girl, and then Cheryl Bullock, then Pam, and then Miss Kyla, Wild Bill Wassman. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. And special thanks to Chris O'Connell for gifting 50 channel memberships. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. And that 50 channel memberships is the minimum goal all by itself. Okay. And then believe it or not, the rest of the entire chat didn't even come close to what she just did, reaching the goal. So that's why I'm saying we wouldn't have reached the goal if she didn't even show up here. It wouldn't have been close. Although maybe people would have helped support more if, who the hell knows. But anyways, we've given out 8,000 this year so far. This month isn't going very well. We're even behind last month, which is February, with only 28 days. There's no way to reach. It'd be really tough unless something major happens and we get a lot of ad revenue and, if there's a break in the case or something like that. Yeah, she did 50. That was amazing. 10, 10, 10, 20. So anyways, thank you so much. That was amazing. Thanks, Jim Lawn. Mexican Tony damaged the utility box last night. Is that who did it? Jim? Oh yeah, I was gonna, before I leave, I guess we could talk about the, let's see. Yeah, what did you guys think of that New York City? Remember, I've been keeping track of these, terror attacks. So today there was a group of people protesting, against having, Islamic taking over New York. So they were protesting. And then these two Muslim kids, or, one of them's Amir Balat and Ibrahim Nick. Ibrahim Nick, he seemed to be he had these bombs, and he would hand them to Amir Balat, and he lit them, but they didn't go off, but they were filled with this really deadly explosives. It was pretty crazy. Now let's take a look at this really quick. Yeah, I guess the person was found there, Sandy. Yeah, look at these look at this crazy shit. Look at him. He looks Iranian to me. And then guess what he was saying? He was doing little Allah Akbar bullshit when he got to the car. Karen? Yeah, that's what they say when they're cutting people's heads off, dude.
A counter-protester, identified as Amir Balat, an 18-year-old man.
Yeah, let's do the... might as well do this. I do have the New York Police Department commissioner here on a video. Here we go.
Protest and a counter-protest, mention from which footage of suspicious devices has been circulating on social media. The information that I am about to provide is preliminary and it is subject to change. At approximately 11 a.m., two separate demonstrations, a protest and a counter-protest, commenced in the area of East End Avenue and East 87th Street. The initial protest, called Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City, Stop New York City Public Muslim Prayer, organized by individuals associated with far-right provocateur Jake Lang, drew approximately 20 participants. The counter-protest...
See, they're talking about this other, you know, notice how there's a slant, like, against the bad protesters. But nobody cared when the Palestinians were, you know, like, bashing the Jewish students and all that kind of stuff. It was just, oh, you know, it's all peaceful and everything. Well, these guys are peaceful.
Drew approximately 20 participants.
So they only had 20 people there, this protesting group.
The counter-protest, Run the Nazis Out of New York City,
I guess they're called Run the Nazis Out of New York City, is the counter-protest.
And Against Hate took place nearby with roughly 125 participants at its peak.
Right.
Both groups were separated into designated protest areas by NYPD officers. Shortly before noon, tensions escalated between individuals in the two groups. At 12:15 p.m., a protester associated with the Jake Lang group used pepper spray against counter-protesters and was arrested thereafter. At approximately 12:38 p.m., a counter-protester identified as Amir Balat, an 18-year-old man, lit and threw an ignited device toward the protest area.
See, these two are, I think these two are unrelated to the counter-protesting and the protesters. You know? They're unrelated. I think they just came there to kill people.
Walk of East 87th Street and East End Avenue.
Yeah, I'd get one coffee tonight.
Witnesses
That's crazy.
reported seeing flames
Two
and
nights in a
smoke
row.
as it traveled through the air before it struck a barrier and extinguished itself a few feet from police officers. Mr. Balat then ran southbound on East End Avenue toward 86th Street and gets a second device from a man tentatively ID'd as Ibrahim Nick, 19 years old. Mr. Balat lights the device and starts running with it. He then drops the device on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Streets. Officers immediately secured the area and they took both men into custody. This was all captured on NYPD Argus camera. The bomb squad responded and examined the devices. Based on preliminary examination and X-ray imaging, the devices, which were a bit smaller than a football, appear to be a jar wrapped in black tape, importantly with nuts, bolts, and screws, along with a hobby fuse that could be lit. At this time, we do not yet know whether the devices were functional improvised explosive devices or hoax devices, because we don't yet know if there was energetic material contained in them. Both recovered devices are being transported by the bomb squad in a total containment vessel to Rodman's Neck for further testing and analysis. Following the discovery of the devices, officers established a safety perimeter around the area and began a comprehensive search for any additional hazards. That includes canine sweeps as well as manual canvassing of the surrounding blocks, which includes inspections of garbage cans, underneath vehicles, and other locations where additional devices could potentially be hidden. These sweeps are still ongoing. In total, 6 arrests were made today in connection with the events. Those arrests include the 2 individuals responsible for handling and deploying the devices, the individual who used pepper spray earlier in the protest, and additional arrests related to disorderly conduct and obstructing traffic. This investigation remains active, and we will continue working to analyze the devices and to determine whether anyone else may have been involved. I have been in regular communication today with Mayor Mamdani about the situation. As of now, there is no indication that this is related to the ongoing hostilities in Iran, but the investigation is still ongoing given the heightened threat environment. Important to note, I always speak about the police running towards the danger when everyone else runs away. Let me be clear, that happened today. Officers, many of whom are here with me, ran toward a man carrying an ignited suspicious device. They put the safety of others and their sworn duty to protect and serve above their own personal safety. And I am grateful that there were no injuries associated with the incident.
Coffee?
Today, as always, I thank
thanks.
our police for their noble
At least there's
service.
one. Thank
now
you.
I'll take a few questions. Hello. Do we know if they were home? I am not able to confirm if they were home or not. I believe they were not.
Okay, that's the.
As I mentioned, at this time, we are doing
That's
canvassing and canine
Ibrahim
sweeps.
Nick.
As of now, that canvas and those sweeps have not turned up any additional suspicious devices.
And this is the other guy, Amir Balat. Look at these psychos, man. Okay, forget it. Let's just get to the, let's see what's in here. Let's see, Daily. I'm just going to see if they got something new. Daily Mail, Amir Balat. $23. Yeah, I'll just go with the. They said that 6 people were arrested. Now, 6 people were arrested Saturday after homemade explosive devices were thrown near the New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani during a protest. The devices contained nuts, bolts, screws, and a fuse, according to the New York Police Department. Authorities said it was not immediately clear whether the devices were functional. There was no indication the incident, they tried to be functional. That's the key. Had explosives, a fuse, everything. It was ready to go. Panic erupted as far-right influencers, see how they always have to say it like that? It's their fault, The far-right influencer, Jake Lang, was leading an anti-Muslim protest outside Gracie Mansion, Mamdani's official residence. Lang was denouncing what he called the Islamification of the city. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with denouncing that. Demanding an end to the public Muslim prayer in New York, when 2 suspects were... I don't care if somebody prayers. What I don't like is when you have a city and they play the call to prayer, the big... it's blaring through the city. That's bullshit, okay? You don't change everybody else's life so that you can do yours. The protest drew around 20 people, while about 125 counter-protesters gathered nearby. Mamdani and his wife, Rama Dwaji, were not believed to be at home at the time. No injuries were reported. So there's one of the devices right there. Balat then allegedly secured a second device from Ibrahim Nick, 19. So I guess it's Nikk. Witnesses reported seeing flames and smoke as it traveled through the air. Both teenagers were taken into custody, and the incident was captured by surveillance cameras. So I guess it's all on surveillance. Look at that thing. It has a fuse. It was at a hardcore, very unstable explosive in there. I don't know what this is. What the hell is that? A pig? That must be like a pork that they were putting in there. Yeah. Anyways, that went on this weekend. So I'm going to get out of here, you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody who supported the channel. Again, thank you so much up there to Chris O'Connell. Thank you. And we'll see you guys later, all right? Gotta get that off the screen. But anyways, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. Yeah, they do it like in Minnesota
I'm a certified human
or Michigan. Dearborn.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture.
No, thank you, Chris O'Connell.
And I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector,
interceptor,
and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember I'm a typical conjecture. I have no agenda.
It's really only 10:30, but
and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end,
had a late start tonight.
On a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks again, also Chris O'Connell. That was made a big difference tonight. So thank you. See you tomorrow, and be safe out there. Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense. Oh yeah, and a pesky thing called facts. Thank you very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Hey, and thank you also, Jim Lon. I think you did a challenge earlier, so it made a big difference. The challenges make such a big difference, you know. Those are the ones that because if you're doing 5 and then you go, hey, I'll do, and then we can get $50 on the board somehow. I mean, it just makes a difference. So I appreciate everybody that is doing those and just supporting the channel. That's just amazing. You know, I mean, it's cool to see. You know, we're still trying to keep things rolling along. We're almost done with we need another 1,000, and we'll be done with our next round of scholarships that Zozo can spend 1 million hours, and also Lisa Valenzuela going over all the videos again. You know? So, we'll be done with that probably this month, and we'll see what else we can do. Hopefully we can... There'll be some better times during this month because we haven't had any of those great days. Like there's certain days, like last month we had days where, you know, the net, you know, the gross income came in as like 600 and something based with ad revenue, etc. because you might have a day where you only bring in 150 or something, and then so if you multiply $300 times 30 days, you get $9,000, right? Well, we donated 5,000 last month, so I wouldn't be able to do that if you only brought in 9, right? We bring in 9, I might be able to donate like 2, or it's sort of it makes it hard, because there's a certain point where you got to have the income for the channel, because you get taxed on that, and also there's a lot of stuff I have to buy, So anyways, we're at 8,000 this year so far, which is pretty good. That's 48,000 if we keep going. We'll see if we can do it. I guess we'll see. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Be safe.
Bye. Correct.
And then...
Evil can never be dead enough.